And right now, the way that Josh Allen is playing, you can't have any degree of confidence that they're going to be able to climb back up in the standings and win the AFC East.
The Mariners, in need of another big bat, acquired slugger Teoscar Hernandez from the Blue Jays for reliever Eric Swanson and a pitching prospect. Philly star Bryce Harper will undergo surgery on the UCL in his right elbow next week.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You can take us with you anywhere you go around the world, live or on demand. And it's all absolutely free on the iHeartRadio app. You can, of course, see us on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you can join us in the chat each and every day. And, of course, get those alerts whenever we go live. Weekdays at 3 here. Of course, fantasy shows on Tuesday with Mullet Man and the Canadian. And then, of course, Mullet Man and the Canadian and me on the Fantasy Game Time Decision Show.
And the formerly large Tank Spencer.
There you go.
The now deflated Tank.
I like that. Each and every Sunday morning, an hour before kickoff, we will get it all to you. Your fantasy updates, stardom, situms, trade advice, all of that. And trade deadlines are coming up for everybody, for pretty much everybody this week or next week.
We're all glad that you survived the Tay-Tay apocalypse.
Oh, gosh.
Getting your tickets for Taylor Swift.
So ridiculous.
$500 to get in.
$500
to get in.
I mean, that's the get-in price. That's the cheapest seat in the house.
Who are these people, and where are you getting all this money?
I have no idea. Jeremy told me it was like $5,000 for seats on the mid-level at where was that? MetLife Stadium? $5,000 for Taylor Swift. Who the hell does she think she is?
I don't want to hear anybody else talk about wages, okay?
Oh,
I don't want to hear anything
100%.
else.
We started paying people $20 an hour, and they
now
went, screw it, we'll just spend a quarter of our salary on Taylor Swift tickets.
$11 billion. That's what it costs to get in to see Tay-Tay. Our question of the day, what would you actually spend $5,000 to see? You don't count because
I was going to say
all of yours are either not able to be said on this show or they don't exist.
They don't exist. There's not a single thing on the planet that you could go, hey, there's an event coming up.
Jet Super Bowl.
All you have to do is give me $5,000 and you can see it. Otherwise, you're going to miss it entirely. I wouldn't attend the birth of my children for $5,000.
At Sports Take ESPN. Jet Super Bowl. There is no price you could set too high. If you tell me it's $100,000, cool. I'll sell a kidney. Or
you're going to need to sell more than that. I think you're going to need about 12 kidneys.
Yeah, because mine probably aren't worth much.
No, definitely not.
Maybe
Most people in black
market,
I think kidneys probably go for what? Yeah, $20,000, something like that. Jeremy's $550. Not $550, $5.50.
And I could put it on eBay as lightly used. Lightly used.
Ain't nothing lightly used about you, my friend. your horse tranquilizer-induced facial hair growth is proof of that.
Yes. Adam Black in the YouTube comments said, haven't been able to watch in a week, and it appears Jeremy is in the newly homeless stage.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yes, that is factually accurate. That is the best way you could
I've been
explain
trying
this.
too. Like I've been specifically doing the no shave November thing just to see the disparity of when your beard comes in and where mine's gonna sit. And then I was talking to my wife last night, and we've decided I have to shave. Like if there's a chance we're gonna be on television this weekend, and I got to shave.
Yes, because this is not a good look for you.
No, it's not at all. I was like, this was fun while it lasted, but we know where this is going, right? This is going nowhere.
Patches. Yeah, it's going to look like a biker jacket. A lot of patches.
100%. And I keep letting the mustache go a little bit. I'm afraid I'm going to get into that reverse Hitler thing that I tried once before, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, no, your mustache is it's a wispy little feller.
It is. It is. So anyway, yeah, I can't grow facial hair. It's the thing I can't do. I didn't take horse tranquilizers in high school like apparently Jeremy did.
Hey, here's the thing. You want to play good, you try to play good. I wanted to play good. Now facial hair growth
seedy
is
underbelly of high school football.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. Now I have facial hair that grows at a rate that's usually reserved for a poodle. My lot in life.
That you do. We welcome everybody into the program, of course, into the chat on YouTube. You want to get your comments weighed in on the show here. That's all you got to do. Hit us up on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And Evan Doyle says, World Cup is in 4 days. Let's get hyped. Woo!
Yeah, I'm. This is almost without a doubt the worst day for stories that I've seen during a football season in the 3 years I've been doing this.
Look, I don't know squirt about soccer. I almost said hockey, which would also be accurate.
Yeah, also a sport that you don't know squat about.
I don't know squat about it. But I will say this. When the World Cup comes around and the USA is in it, I can get hyped for that. I mean, I feel like this is the first time since probably, I'm going to say early 90s, where I feel like the U.S. men's soccer team is in the World Cup, and we actually got a shot to make some noise. I don't know about win the thing. We've never really had a shot to win it.
I'm not even – are they even in it?
Yeah, they're in it. I think this is the best U.S. men's soccer team we've had in a long time, isn't it? Soccer fans, weigh in. Yeah. Christian Pulisic is probably the biggest star we've ever had in soccer.
I was today years old when I learned that name. So, we are in it with England, Wales, and Iran. That is the group we're in.
And we may not come out of that group, but I feel like we've got a shot.
I feel like they could. There's probably nothing that would actually get me to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it before.
Patrick Holt says the U.S. He is a soccer guy. He is a full-on season ticket holder to the Charlotte FC. He says the U.S. may make it out of the group play, but that's about it. And we're young. The next one will have a legit shot. So when the next World Cup comes up in 2026, then maybe the U.S. men's team will have a shot to take it all. I mean, I can get excited about World Cup soccer. All this other stuff.
We win a game, we'll talk.
Oh, 100%.
We win a game, we'll talk.
And they will. They will. They'll win a couple of games in the in the group stage. And we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, that's as far as I go breaking down soccer. Just not getting a whole lot of help from me. Because as we all know, what we do here in the Sportsocracy
football.
Is the real football. Right.
That's what we do around here. And one thing that we are going to talk about deep diving today. It looks like it's going to be a snowstorm, y'all.
Oh, I can't wait.
Buffalo Bills, Cleveland Browns in the middle of a nor'easter.
Forecast 3 to 6 feet of snow for this game.
If you like snow games, this may be a high water mark.
They're calling it a mega blizzard rolling through upstate New York, and you get that lake effect snow. It's going to be bad.
Now, I will say this. Watch the wind. If you're wanting to wager this, the wind means way more than the moisture does. Historical evidence says that the snow does not actually preclude anything from happening. You should wager the exact same way you would anyway. Unless the wind is a-blowing. Then that's where you find games that end up 9-6. And it is kind of setting up that is exactly what this is going to be.
I love a good snow game.
And the over-under is 47.5, which blew my mind.
I love a good snow game. I think now that every time I hear snow game, I can't not think about LaShawn McCoy and the Philadelphia Eagles against the Detroit Lions. That was probably 6 years ago. But
something like that.
But it was one of the greatest games. You couldn't see the lines on the field. It was just, I love it.
That's what this is going to be. They physically, at least from every forecast that I've seen, they are not going to be able to keep the snow off the field. So this will be like one of those old school New England games where, okay, we got the lines. Every time we go to a commercial, they'll come out with a snowblower, get the lines.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else is going to be a sweet little winter wonderland.
Will they plow out a place for him to kick the ball? That's
Tom Brady's not playing. We don't do that for anybody but me.
That was way before Tom Brady's time. Patrick Holt says he has lots of coworkers in upstate New York, and they already have quite a bit of snow this morning. So, something to look forward to. It's one of the things that I love about football. I think it's one of the things that makes football one of the greatest sports, is that it very rarely is ever affected by weather. I mean, it has to be something absolutely crazy.
A deluge like you had with the Bears and the 49ers.
Yeah, but they still had that game. See, what I'm saying is you'll play in anything.
Oh, yeah. You said something about, they could move this game. They are not moving this game.
Well, they could. They've done it before. There was a game, I believe it was a Buffalo game, several years ago that they had to move to Detroit, neutral site field, just because the snow was so deep, and it would be dangerous for people to come to the stadium.
I think you have the wrong team there.
I don't know.
I believe that was a snowstorm, but something affected the stadium. I think it was in maybe Minnesota.
No, that was you're thinking of when the dome collapsed in Minneapolis.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that wasn't the game. This was another game that was like 3 feet of snow. It had happened 2 or 3 days before, and they went, we just can't do this. We can't have this game. It's got to be moved because it would be unsafe to have people trying to travel on the roads to get to the game. So that's the only thought that I had of they could move this game.
I don't look for it.
Yeah. They react very differently. See, if something like that happened in, I don't know, Charlotte, that game would be moved to Tampa in a heartbeat.
No doubt. Buffalo, they're like, it's fine.
There's 5 inches of snow on the ground in Charlotte. Everybody acts like they're in the middle of, they're in the middle of Iceland or something. It's just ridiculous. Yesterday here on the Sportsocracy, we had our power rankings for Week 11 in the NFL. New number 1.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm really not sure we got it right, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get don't get me wrong. Kansas City is an awesome team. They have a great coach, Patrick Mahomes. They can score the points. They now have a running back that you can believe in. Now that Isaiah Pacheco has taken over.
Now that it's not Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Exactly.
Now that Andy Reid looked at him and went, oh, yeah, that mulleted guy's been saying you're bad at football, and you are bad at football.
Yeah. But I don't really know that they should be number 1. We didn't have time to fight about this yesterday on the show because it was the end of the show and we were getting out. But I don't know. I want to know if I'm alone on this. Is Kansas City the number 1 team in the NFL? And if not, who should be the number 1 team? Because I think it might be the Minnesota Vikings.
And I think you might be out of your mind.
Really? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to fight about it. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? You know joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love, it affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 with locations in Asheville and in Greenville. Again, that's 828-333-9517.
Yeah, we're replacing the carpets too, so don't worry about that.
No fresh powder yet, but Dan's Ski Lodge has an avalanche of projects.
Those 4 rooms are getting hot tubs.
He needs a staff engineer to navigate a flurry of new requests.
And all of those will be fully ADA accessible.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Yesterday, power rankings for Week 11. It's the Kansas City Chiefs #1. And then we had the Minnesota Vikings at 2. I know it's not a big fight. It's not anything that, friendships are going to be ruined and people's feelings are going to be hurt over.
Well, you can't hurt my feelings.
But that is true. You have no feelings.
Nope. Just a big empty hole where a heart's supposed to be.
But I'm not so sure. I'm convinced that the Minnesota Vikings aren't the best team in the NFL right now.
What do they do better than Kansas City?
Catch the ball.
No, they have a guy that does that. They Justin Jefferson better. I will give you that. And then
what?
What else do they do better? You tell me, where else are they better than Kansas City? And there's something I have a feeling you're getting ready to say, and I'm going to absolutely cripple you.
I mean, I think I like their defense better.
Oh, really? How many defenses in the NFL allow more yards per game than the Minnesota Vikings?
I don't know.
It's 3.
How many?
The Houston Texans, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
That's it. End of message. Repeat the line.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
defensively, they're not really good. They have just been able to shoot out with teams. Think back to that Lions game. You should have lost. You should have lost to the Detroit Lions. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to have Minnesota at 2.
Really?
No, I still think Buffalo's the second best team in the league. You got to understand how often this Buffalo team is turning the ball over, and you're still this good. You're still this good.
I understand. But is the only reason that we're doubting the Minnesota Vikings because of Kirk Cousins and his primetime problems?
No, the reason I'm doubting Minnesota is because flat out I don't think they're all that great. I think they're good. I think they're in a very bad division. They have a very workable schedule, and they've got some good momentum. Other than that, I don't really see anything that you do tremendously well. And you get a timely stop every now and then, but it's not that common. This is one of the luckiest teams I've ever seen with a record this good.
Luckiest team. Okay. Explain that. How are they lucky?
Well, look down the schedule. I already mentioned the Detroit game. If Detroit was even, I'll say even passively competent, you'd be hanging an L there. New Orleans Saints, same thing. Chicago Bears, turn it over on their own 40 or on the Minnesota 40-yard line. They were driving in to score to tie that game. And I think Chicago's terrible. Caught Miami with a backup quarterback. The Cardinals are not very good. Could very easily have lost to the Commanders, and the Bills game may be the luckiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was a comedy of Buffalo Bill errors, not really anything you did particularly well outside of Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, they capitalized. Obviously, they capitalized on the mistakes.
If you want to know how much skill was involved in this, watch their play-by-play guy call this. Ian Rappaport shared it on Twitter. That looks like a man that just stole a victory from the claws of defeat. Oh, well, 100%. That's fine. That's fine. Good for us. Let's go. Skol. And they're good. If I couldn't have Buffalo that high after Minnesota beat them, but I wanted to. I think if those two teams play at full strength, 7 out of 10 times Buffalo wins. Not sure there's not 8 out of 10 times.
Okay.
But Kansas City right now is the best team in the NFL to me.
So in your heart of hearts, when it comes to the power rankings of just the eye test, we talked about this with the college football playoff, the resume versus the eye test. To you, the eye test tells you Buffalo is number 2, or are they still the number 1 team?
Buffalo would still probably be number 1 to me. If it's just on eye test, I would have Buffalo 1, Kansas City 2, Philadelphia 3. Minnesota probably slides in at 4, but I don't want them that high. I might even have Miami at 4. The Jets are going to be up there at some point. Cincinnati, Baltimore. And then there is a drastic drop-off.
Right.
You get away from the 8 teams I just said, and there is a drop-off a cliff. I have to put the Seahawks in there. Do I think they're that good? No. I have to put the Giants up there. Do I think they're that good? No. Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they're that good either. To me, there is a clear tier of Super Bowl contenders, and there are 4 of them. And it does not include the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
It's Miami, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Philadelphia. You give me those 4 teams, I'll give you the field.
Miami kind of shocks me being in that group, just because the offense is so good.
It takes a very specific team to beat Miami. You have to be able to do one of 2 things. Either defensively, you have to be special, New York Jets, or you have to be able to shoot out with them, and preferably have a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. There's just not many teams that fit into that.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of people think that I'm a Jets homer. I mean, I am wearing a Jets hoodie as we say this. Let me tell you a fun stat about that team that I just learned today. Last year, they were dead last in total defense and scoring defense. They're on pace to finish in the top 8. You know how many times that's ever happened in NFL history?
Once.
You want to hear it again?
None.
It's never happened before.
Wow.
It has never happened before.
That's pretty impressive.
And the reason that I'm so high on that, it's the reason that I'm higher than a lot of people on the Giants. That defense is good. And if you look around the league, how many teams do you look at and go, defensively, that team is special? I think Philadelphia at full strength is good.
Mm-hmm.
They added Linval Joseph today. I think that's an apt replacement to Jordan Davis. That maybe the wish version of him, but it at least gives you that. I think San Francisco is special defensively. The Broncos, and then you get into the Jets, Bills. That's about it. Other than that, there's really not special defensively. And that gives you an edge because you're used to playing teams like Kansas City, who doesn't do anything particularly well defensively. They're just going to get timely stops, and they're going to score on you. Not necessarily at will, but they're going to score a lot on you pretty much no matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You get in December, you get into January, and I have a team that can lock down 2 wide receivers for you. That's going to be tough to beat. Do they score a lot of points? No. But this is it's what I've always said about Baltimore. The reason Baltimore is so hard to game plan for is because you don't ever see a team that plays like this. You don't see teams come out in 3 tight end sets, line up with a fullback. There are only 8 teams in the NFL that carry a full-time fullback.
Right.
It's different. It's a completely different way to play the game. That's why I like the 2 New York teams as much as I do. It's why I like the Buffalo Bills as much as I do. At full strength, that defense is special. Minnesota's is not.
Mm-hmm.
And offensively, I think it's a push.
Between them
at best.
Between them and Kansas City?
Between them and Buffalo. Minnesota and Buffalo, it's an offensive push. Say Minnesota runs the ball better. I like Josh Allen leaps and bounds better, but you have Justin Jefferson, which is a hair better than Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm. I really like the weapons for this team.
Minnesota strikes me as the team that's going to get into the playoffs as a really high seed. In my head, it's as the 2 because I don't see Philadelphia losing many games.
Right.
They get in as the 2. They play the team that just snuck in. For whatever reason, it's Washington in my head, and they lose. You lose a home playoff game, and everybody goes, how did that happen? And I'm sitting here going, exactly how I told you it was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that whole other level that Justin Jefferson brings to that team. And you still have Dalvin Cook. You're still getting T.J. Hawkinson in the rhythm of playing with Kirk Cousins and in this offense. I like that team. And I know a couple of weeks ago I was the one saying, I don't know if this is real because they haven't really been dominant. But at some point you have to – I mean, it's like where I finally got to with the Philadelphia Eagles, unfortunately, before they lost this past week. But eventually those wins, though they don't look great, you didn't just absolutely demolish somebody. It still adds up to enough of going, this is what's different from the Mike Zimmer-led Minnesota Vikings, who would constantly let things get away from them.
I have no dispute that this team's different. I think we're overvaluing how good it is. If you go Bizarro World here, not to use a Seinfeld reference, but it is the greatest show ever made. You go Bizarro World here, this team could be 5-4, and it would not require much.
No, it would not.
Really, just 3 teams to finish off games that outplayed them. I struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, if you take away the non-Tua times, I could make the argument that they're the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. But could you not
I think it's a flimsy argument, but
yeah. But could you not do – no, you can't. Never mind. I was going to say, but couldn't you do the same thing with every team? Even Kansas City, who's had close one-score games, or – hell, they had a 1-point game with the Las Vegas Raiders.
But here's the difference.
Now we know are awful.
But now here's the difference. Name me the game with the Chiefs that you walked away from it going, they were lucky to win that because they got outplayed.
It's a good point.
There's not one.
Yeah.
Minnesota has 4. Buffalo has 1. They've basically lost the games where it's even been close.
Right.
And that plays into me.
It plays in for me too. And that's why Buffalo's not in that number 1 discussion for me anymore. Because it's in close games like that where I need to know. I need to know that you can come up with a win in the big moment. And so
I don't
far
think
this season, I feel like Josh Allen has let us down or let Bills fans down.
And see, to me, that's all just expectations. You expected this to be the best team you've ever seen because at times they've looked that way.
Mm-hmm.
you can't turn the ball over this many times and look like that dominant of a team.
Exactly.
How many teams in the NFL turn the ball over more than the Buffalo Bills?
Don't know.
It's the New Orleans Saints. End of message, repeat the line. Them and the Colts are tied with 18.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is Buffalo forces a lot of turnovers as well. And so that levels out the differential.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is you get a game like the Dolphins where you obviously outplayed them. You still lose. Those are the ones that scare me. Kansas City doesn't have many of those.
Right.
Philadelphia doesn't really have – they've been outplayed one time, and they lost to Washington. Those are teams I look at and go, there's no fraud to that. Your record is – you are what your record says you are. And there's other teams that I don't so much believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe the Cleveland Browns are one of the worst teams in the NFL? No. But that's what your record says.
Right.
And you have been smoked like a honey ham in games that don't really make sense.
And I feel like things may be getting ready to take a turn for the Cleveland Browns. Big news today, Deshaun Watson back at practice. But at this point, I mean, it's like Hillary Clinton once said. At this point, what difference does it really make? We'll talk about that coming up next. First, let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, they are expecting the big snowstorm for the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns coming up this weekend. As I said, we'll talk about that in just a little bit as the Cleveland Browns got a little bit of a morale boost, I guess you could say, today. There has been a lawsuit filed, though, in the NFL. Linebacker for the Denver Broncos, Aaron Patrick, who suffered an ACL tear against the Los Angeles Chargers. He is suing the NFL, the Los Angeles Chargers, and ESPN for negligence, blaming them for his ACL tear. So when they were at SoFi Stadium on October the 17th, there was a play that carried Patrick out of bounds at the end of a play. He ran into a sideline worker, and as he did so, he stepped on one of those cord mats that ESPN has down for the broadcast, and that was where the ACL popped. Now, I get, yes, you can kind of connect the dots here and go, if ESPN hadn't have been there, then the mat wouldn't have been there, and I wouldn't have torn my ACL. I don't know what he wants out of this, what he expects to gain out of this.
Well, I've always said, as somebody that's been on the sideline of enough NFL games, there's a lot that goes into that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. There are a lot of moving pieces. I'll take the Jets game. Mm-hmm. They had Skycam fall against Buffalo 2 weeks ago.
I remember that.
You realize there's an easier way to do this, right? I mean, I know you've done it this way forever, but it doesn't really make a ton of sense. He will wind up with a settlement from the league because they don't want this to go to court, because you get into OSHA violations and unsafe work environments and things like that. Mm-hmm. My hope is that it gets some of the palaver that happens on the sideline. Let's maybe get that somewhere else, because it doesn't make a ton of sense. You have the best athletes in the world running at full speed, and you have cords just laying on the sideline. They're under a mat. I get that. Mm-hmm. But there's a better way to do this. You understand that, right?
And what is that?
A lot of those things don't have to be on the field level. You allow entirely too many photographers on the sideline.
People, yeah.
There are way too many. That was the number one takeaway the first time I got to the field level. There are a lot of people down here.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of people that are in the way down here that I don't understand how you got here.
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people that we don't know what you do. Like, what is it would you say that you do here?
That's, I'm sure, what people say about me. They're like, why did we let Hillbilly Jim down on the field? Like, what is he doing here?
I mean, I can understand all of those thoughts, especially with, today's media. But everybody has to, the media feels like they have to get their shot. I don't want to use the same shot that what are we going to do? Pool reporters? We're going to have pool photographers for the NFL.
Well, I mean, you could do that with the AP, and it would make infinitely more sense.
You could. But
there
then
are
cuts out
a ton of photographers on the side.
But then that cuts out a revenue stream for the other media markets or the other media members. And so
yeah, we have a new camera system coming in here. I'm going to show you something that might blow your mind. You'd be shocked how good of a shot you can get from a long way away.
He is seeking compensation for his lost salary and bonus opportunities.
Yeah, because he was one of those that his salary gets cut if he's on IR.
He will lose out on $370,000 in base salary, $200,000 to $400,000 in potential bonuses that he could have earned in the contract. Also, quote, significant pain and suffering and emotional distress. You always talk about when you become president. When I become
frivolous
president,
lawsuits.
Yeah, when I become president, that will be stricken from the record, like from the vocabulary. We will no longer have the phrase emotional distress.
At Sports Take ESPN. Mattress Mac is at it again. He just won $72 million on the Houston Astros. He's doubled down. He has $1.5 million on the Houston Cougars to win the national title.
Nice. College basketball.
A $500,000 bet to win $5 million at 10-1. Then he got it at 9-1 and put $1 million on that. So he's $1.5 million in to win $14 million on a Houston team that is really, really good.
They are really good.
They are really good.
Come in preseason ranked number 4, I believe, in the country, and they've got a hell of a roster. That Sasser kid still plays for them.
Yes.
He's been there 15 years.
Yeah, there's always one of those. There's always a kid that you're like, I'm pretty sure he was here when, like, George W. Bush was president.
Right. Kelvin Sampson was the coach, right, when Marcus Sasser started there?
Kelvin Sampson. He's still the coach.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Kelvin Sampson's the coach at Houston. Where did you think he went?
I must be thinking back to, like,
he was the coach at Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's what I was thinking.
I mean, they're both
I was thinking
red.
it was Oklahoma that he left. Okay. I was thinking it was Houston that he left for somewhere else.
Oh, no, he left Oklahoma not necessarily under the greatest of
100%.
circumstances.
100%. Anyway, yeah, I'd hate to tell Mattress Mac, but we all know how this is going to end. Right?
If you're about to say Carolina, you better put away a Gardner Webb a little more convincingly.
Hey. What did you always say, Jeremy? We don't care about style points.
Yeah, but
W's a
the
W,
third
right?
time you struggle with a directional state, yeah, that's a bad sign.
At least we didn't lose to Stetson.
We're not good. I mean, college basketball season's already over for me. I only told this story to get it into the show.
Look, I know it hasn't started well for the Tar Heels, or like you might have expected, but they are 3-0, still number 1 in the country. They'll figure it out. And if you ask how Tar Heel fans are feeling today, all you got to do is go on your Google box and type in diddukewin.com.
What is no, Alex?
End of message. Repeat the line.
B. Malik in our YouTube comment said, Mattress Mac can afford these bets because he hedges with furniture purchases with free stuff if they lose this just under the amount he bets. Yeah, the old school capitalist in me, that's why I tell stories like this. That's a bright guy. I respect that. He also carried $10 million to a private jet and a wheelbarrow. Wonder what else was in that particular device before he put the money in it, because I have an idea.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Remaining unseasonably cold here as we head through the end of the week. Decreasing clouds for us here. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the middle part of the 20s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow and cold. Highs only in the low part of the 40s. Near 20 Thursday night. Mix of clouds and sun. Still rather chilly Friday afternoon. Highs upper 40s. Over the weekend, sunshine but remaining cold. Highs both afternoons in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Some banks can make it complicated to redeem credit card rewards. But with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com. The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for two at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
You might not know this, but the Ingles Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things. Really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
You're back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville and on YouTube as well. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link so you can see our beautiful faces, as unshaven and unkempt as they may appear. Deshaun Watson, today's a big day for Cleveland. He is officially back at practice. Now, he's been in the building for a few weeks.
Yes.
He's been in team meetings. He's been getting acclimated with the playbook and all of that, things that he has been barred from doing since the preseason. Serving the 11-game suspension. We all know why. This is not what this is about. We want to talk about X's and O's. We want to talk about where is this Cleveland team going when Deshaun Watson is permitted to return on December the 4th against his former team, the Houston Texans, which I still feel like was cooked up by the league.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt it was. Nobody will ever admit that, but it absolutely was. The problem is that you're going to be 3-8 when he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And we said in the preseason you needed to come out of this 5-6 at worst. I mean, you just got to look how many teams are behind. By the time he comes back, they'll only be ahead of 4 teams in the AFC. And you're going to have to catch 5 more?
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it. I think they will end nicely. I can see them starting 3-8 and finishing 8-9. Because the back end of that schedule is not all that daunting.
Right.
Especially when you realize how good he is. I think people forget that.
They do.
This is not Dak Prescott or Jimmy Garoppolo or Baker Mayfield. It's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But he hadn't played in 2 years. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
He's also not an old guy.
Yeah, not even close. He's not even close to the Dak Prescott tier.
No, he's a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about him in the same vein with Pat Mahomes before the suspension.
Right. Same guy that, yes, while his team was god-awful, he was still, he led the league in passing on a 4-win team with horrible weapons. And now you're going to send him to Cleveland, or he's in Cleveland. He's going to be starting for Cleveland in just a couple of weeks, and he's going to have Amari Cooper to throw to. He's going to have Nick Chubb in the most terrifying, or one of the most terrifying run games in the league. He's going to be much more protected than he ever was in Houston. He was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he was the Joe Burrow of the NFL.
The only problem is that you're so far behind the 8 ball that there's not really much you can do for this year.
And I'm not really worried about this year, and I don't think they should be either.
I would agree with that. I mean, we called this a blip year before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
That schedule was ugly.
Mm-hmm. And
now you lost a couple that I didn't expect.
You said the back end of the schedule was okay. But
Texans, Saints, Commanders, Steelers. You tell me where the who am I terrified of there?
Now wait a minute. The Commanders, you think they're not in the class of a Cleveland Browns team with Deshaun Watson? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what what I'm saying is that you've got the Bengals and the Ravens, who are 2 of the best teams in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, it's a bunch of, fringe playoff contenders, which is what I think they are. They'll be favored in all 4 of those games.
Yes.
The Washington game is in Washington, so you have a chance that maybe they give them one in the hook on, but I don't believe it.
I don't think so. I think they'd be
I still think it's Cleveland minus 2.5. It's about where that
I was going to say, I think they would be a 3.5-point favorite, and that's the floor. Like, if they come out and they roll off 4 wins in a row going into that game, they could be 7.5-point favorites on the road at the Washington Commanders. There's a lot of football that needs to be played between now and then. But I don't think you should worry about this season. This is all about next year. How much of this team are we going to be able to keep together? And obviously, Nick Chubb's not going anywhere. Amari Cooper just got signed. He's not going anywhere. You should be, I'm going to say, top 5 in the power rankings to start next year.
In the league?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're higher than me. He doesn't play linebacker to the last time.
It can't be outside the top 10.
They're going to be in that ballpark. I mean, you got to realize how many teams are this good this year that aren't going anywhere. The Philadelphia Eagles are not going anywhere.
No.
Kansas City, Minnesota, Baltimore, Buffalo, the Jets, Cincinnati, the Chargers. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are not just good, they're good and young.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just off the top of my head, I would say I'd probably have Cleveland in the 8-9 range.
Okay.
As I was calling those out in my head, I have every team I just said ahead of them.
For next year.
For next year,
I
yes.
don't even think you mentioned the Dolphins in that.
Oh, I didn't, as I was looking at the draft order, and they forfeited their pick.
All right, so maybe top 5 is a little too much. Maybe I'm, but
little exaggeration.
Right,
It never hurt anybody.
Never hurt anybody. But I think the future is very bright, and I think at this point you gotta. I mean, obviously you got to get the reps. That's what I'm worried about the rest of the season, and I think that's all that they're worried about. Kevin Stefanski is sitting back going, we have to, A, protect him, and B, just get him the reps.
Get him acclimated.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing here, is that you have a 6 games on the way out where he can build a rapport with Amari Cooper, he can build a rapport with this offensive line, and put you in a position to succeed next year. You got by the suspension here, and you knew that when you made the move for him. I said that the day they traded for him. This is whatever you get this year is house money. You did this for the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be remiss if I didn't point out you did something that I'm not a huge fan of, and 3 other teams in the league did it. We're going to discuss that at the beginning of the 4 o'clock hour. Everybody says, well, you're just a draft guy. You over-exaggerate everything. I'm going to prove to you that I don't. One segment I will prove to you. Every time you say, well, we should just trade first-round draft picks. That just fixes everything. Does it? Does it really? Or does it create bigger problems on the backside?
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. Boosters designed for COVID-19 variants are now available. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster appointment as soon as you're eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
At Target, Black Friday deals are happening right now. Save on the hottest gifts to get ahead this holiday, like must-have toys, the latest tech, and incredible offers to get your home holiday ready. You'll discover new Black Friday deals each week in stores and at Target.com. And make holiday shopping easier than ever using free drive-up, free order pickup, and same-day delivery. Get low prices and great deals so you can holiday your way. Only at Target. Exclusions apply.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money!
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
I did it again! I gave you a pick yesterday for a game this tonight. This whole we have 2 some days, 3 others. Maybe just get it together. I have a lot of picks here, and, sometimes you get it wrong. Last night, 1-1 in Maction, 3 of them tonight. First, Eastern Michigan. I gave you this one yesterday. I'm going to give it to you again. 7.5-point favorite. Kent State's not very good. Offensively, they don't do hardly anything, and I'm catching 7 and the hook. I'm not saying Eastern Michigan's good. I'm just saying Kent State's not that much gooder than they are. Give me Eastern Michigan plus 7.5. Northern Illinois is a 1.5-point favorite against Miami of Ohio. This is my favorite pick of the day, and it's not even close because these two teams are not even close. And I'm only giving 1.5 with the better team at home. That's easy. Northern Illinois minus the 1.5. Finally, Western Michigan's 11-point dog at Central Michigan. I know you probably don't watch a lot of Maction football. CMU is incredibly frustrating. The Fighting Jim McElwains offensively. Fun stat. Western Michigan's allowed 47 points in 3 weeks total. Only allowed 172 yards passing per game. It's pretty formidable for a team that's catching 11. Give me Western Michigan plus the 11. I think they went outright.
You can take those wagers over to betUs.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy. Get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put into the account up to $2,500. Jeremy's picks They may make bettors fat and sassy. The PhD weight loss program, it'll at least cut out the fat part. Because PhD has helped me change my life in the last year. I've lost over 90 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. I continue to look at my scale and just feel unbelievably proud of the progress that I've made. Looking at 200 pounds on the scale still blows my mind.
It blows my mind that I'm back to my high school weight. I thought that was a thing of the past. I was never a giant guy. I'd just gotten a little doughy. Bad food choices, fast food was always easier, so that's what I did. And it had led to me a little overweight, knees starting to hurt, wasn't sleeping well. Just under a year on the PhD weight loss program, I'm back to my high school weight. I'm sleeping better than ever, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD.
And they have what I would deem a foolproof plan, because I consider myself to be a fool, and if I can follow it and abide by it and have great success, I feel confident that you can too. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. Find out how Dr. Ashley Lucas and the gang can help you get rid of your weight problem. myphdweightloss.com. Jeremy is the draft nerd. He thinks everything revolves around the draft.
It does.
Your success as an NFL franchise is so hinged on the NFL draft. And I would tend to agree. I would tend to agree that it is. I mean, you can't just go full on, we don't want to make picks and bring in young guys. You know, the LA Rams found that lightning in a bottle for 1 year with Matt Stafford. And now look where they're at. Now they have said, famously, F them picks, and now they're dog water.
And they are part of a very alarming trend that is going to hurt them and really help a couple other franchises that have been a little woe-begotten over the years.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll talk some draft stuff coming up after the Sports Center update next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Remaining unseasonably cold here as we head through the end of the week. Decreasing clouds for us here. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the middle part of the 20s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow, and cold. Highs only in the low part of the 40s. Near 20 Thursday night. Mix of clouds and sun. Still rather chilly Friday afternoon. Highs upper 40s. Over the weekend, sunshine but remaining cold. Highs both afternoons in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell's Black Friday event starts now with up to $400 off on select XPS and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors, plus special pricing on accessories and free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
Some banks can make it complicated to redeem credit card rewards. But with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson rejoined his teammates on the practice field today for the first time since being suspended 11 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. Coach Kevin Stefanski says they'll have a plan for Watson to start getting ready, and this week that will likely be an acclimation process, explains ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
He could take some first-team reps at some point this week. but they won't overwork him. It will actually be a reversal of what they did in training camp, where Watson started out taking a bulk of the workload, and then they gave Jacoby Brissett more and more to get him ready for week one. Now Brissett's the guy, and they've got to ease Watson back in.
Watson is eligible to make his Browns regular season debut against Houston December 4th. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Eagles plan to sign Pro Bowl defensive tackle Linval Joseph to a one-year deal to aid their run defense. Philly's given up 320 yards on the ground combined the last 2 games. The Mariners bolstered their lineup, acquired slugger outfielder Teoscar Hernandez from the Blue Jays for reliever Eric Swanson and a pitching prospect. Toronto does plan to acquire another outfielder at some point this offseason.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still a bit scary? Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
You are in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. You can hear us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. See us everywhere on YouTube. Take us with you everywhere you go with your smartphone, whether you want to watch the video or, just put it on your put it on your Bluetooth in the car. Oh wait, you don't have Bluetooth in your car? What is wrong with you, and why have you not gone to Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville?
Segway.
Exactly. To get, best cars in town.
Oh, I actually kept the Altima for an extra week. We have studio things that'll be unveiling over the next few weeks. So for the next couple weeks, I have to be in a truck or an SUV or something that I can haul big things around. So I asked, I would do whatever they asked. Maybe I can drive this thing for another week. I'm awful comfortable in this.
Because it's a whole lot of fun.
And it's very maneuverable.
Which really surprised me, a guy of your size, your height.
I'm 6'5". I weigh 240 pounds.
Right, being able to be comfortable in a car that from the outside doesn't look very spacious.
It's very spacious. And I have to push the seat up. If I push it all the way back, I'm basically laying in the back seat, so I can't drive that way. I do drive like an elderly person.
Right. Whether you're in the market, whether you're in the market for a new car or one of their certified pre-owned vehicles, like, of course I was. I don't buy things brand new, but my 2017 Rogue, it came with all of the bells and whistles and all of the checks. Right there by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville to make sure that they are giving me the best quality pre-owned vehicle that they possibly can. And I have no qualms. That thing is absolutely lovely.
And bells and whistles are my middle name. And every car they've given me has every bell and every whistle.
So when you go to 629 Brevard Road, check out the showroom, see what they got in stock. Don't forget to drop our name, mention the Sportsocracy. And they will give you $250 on top of whatever your trade-in is worth. It's that simple.
Tell them Hobo Harry and formerly Fat Tank sent you.
Second hour of the program here on ESPN Asheville, and let's talk about the NFL Draft. We've got at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene ready with his thinking cap on. He has analyzed how important draft picks are, and turns out they're pretty important.
Let me give a solid piece of advice, and I'm going to look directly in this camera right here, and I'm going to say this to any GM that, if you don't turn my microphone off, stop trading first-round picks. It never ends well. Ever.
Ever?
I shouldn't say ever. Okay, sometimes it works out. It's much rarer than you think. There are 5 traded first-round picks in this year's draft. First round of the 2023 NFL Draft.
Okay.
Do you know where they sit right now?
No.
Denver has San Francisco's pick from the Bradley Chubb deal.
Okay.
That's 20.
Not bad.
All 4 of the others are in the top 9. The Texans have Cleveland's pick, which is 9.
Still, I would say that's worth it.
Okay. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but if you're Cleveland, man, wouldn't it be nice to have the 9th pick in a draft where there's at least 3 really good wide receivers that'd be nice to pair with Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, but you wouldn't have got Deshaun without him.
I think you probably would have. I think you could have gotten much more creative and not given away just a billion D picks. But, all right, that one. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Detroit has the Rams pick, which is at 8. You got that one Super Bowl, and you better really just hug and squeeze and call that ring George, because you're not going to sniff one for a long time. The Seattle Sea Chickens have Denver's pick at 7 in the greatest trade robbery in the history of time. There are people doing 5 to 10 for less than what the Seattle Seahawks did to the Denver Broncos. And then Philadelphia has New Orleans pick at 4. Trevor Penning really, you real happy with that so far? He's played as many snaps as I have.
Right.
And that pick is at 4 for the team with the best record in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Does it not strike you as strange? Look at all these teams that have completely re-energized their franchise. You know what a lot of them had in common?
Bunch of
New York Jets, Seattle Seahawks, New York Giants. Weird. None of those teams have a quarterback. None of them know that they have what they want at quarterback. And yet they're all good. Now, let's put on our old thinking caps and figure out why that might be. Oh, because you have a ton of young talent. The Jets are the most hurt team in the league. If you look at DVOA and the amount of snaps and productive snaps that are sitting on your bench, that is the most hurt team in the NFL.
Really?
You're still good. It does help when you're on your 6th offensive tackle. I was throwing that out there.
That's true. I was thinking, really? Above the Chargers?
When you're bringing back Dr. Tardif to roll around on your practice squad, that's a good sign that you're pretty killed, and yet they're still good. Because injuries happen in this league. They do. There's no way around it.
Right.
So you have good young assets to build around quarterbacks that are not necessarily the guy. Do we think Jalen Hurts is the guy? No.
I think it's debatable.
I don't. Take away A.J. Brown. What do you have? Jalen Hurts of last year.
Who still got him to the playoffs.
And they got smoked like a honey ham. Congratulations. You going to hang that banner of, we made the playoffs in 2021 and we got our brains beat out. Yippee skippy. No.
I think they did, didn't they? Didn't they hang a banner?
Probably.
Didn't they win the division?
That wouldn't shock me. They have a jail in their stadium. I'm not shocked by anything they do.
Oh, shut up. If your team won a division, you would hang a banner too.
I'd cry. I would actually I would Derek Carr level cry, probably on this show.
Thank you.
But just look at these teams that have made these moves. And Philadelphia, oddly enough, has been on both sides of this. They traded a first-round pick for an asset that they compensated quite well.
Mm-hmm.
That did everything you needed it to do. You can go cherry pick these things because you have the cheap quarterback. You have all of these players that you've hit on in the draft. And I'll go ahead and tell you, the Jets are getting ready to do the same thing. Now, they've done it with draft picks. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
That props up a mediocre quarterback, of which, yes, I do think Zach Wilson's a mediocre quarterback. High-end arm, 10-cent brain.
It's progress, folks. That's what you just heard.
Well, I've never refuted any of that. He just has an arm that sometimes I go, oh, that could be fun if you ever figure out how to use it.
Chances are probably not.
But just look at the teams that received these picks. Eagles, Seahawks, Detroit, Houston. Other than Houston, you feel like every one of those teams is on their way up. And you feel that way with Houston because there's really nowhere to go but up. Now look at the teams that traded them off. New Orleans, Denver, the Rams, the Cleveland Browns. You feel like any of those teams have gotten better? I would argue the Denver Broncos were better with Drew Lock.
I don't know that you're wrong.
If you had to do all over again, would you rather be rolling out Drew Lock with 2 first-round picks or Russell Wilson?
Oh, it's Drew Lock. It's not close.
And it's not close.
No. But there was no way, I say this from my thoughts at the offseason, there's no way you thought this was going to go this way.
No, but you have to be careful doing this. This is the reason that people like me laugh every time we see first-round picks get traded. And there's a reason that it makes you look so bad. I'll use Seattle, for example. All right, they had 2 first-round picks in this last draft. They moved all around the board. They wound up with 4 high-level rookies. I could argue it's 4 of the 8 best players on that team. That's why you're as good as you are. That's why Geno Smith works. Would you not say the LA Rams would be in better shape with the first-round picks and Jared Goff than they are with Matthew Stafford?
No.
I would.
I mean, for the future, sure. But you also had to consider they did just get a ring out of the deal.
And that's fine. You're hemorrhaged forever.
Mm-hmm.
The LA Rams, I could argue, will not be the best team in their division for at least 4 years. And there's really no way around it.
Possibly not.
And if Aaron Donald walks out the door, which he already considered, if Sean McVay walks out the door, which he already considered, what do you have left?
Mm-hmm.
This is the Thanos thing all over again. What did it cost? Everything. I feel like people think I overreact to this because I am the draft guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is years and years and years of doing this. And sitting here at this point every year, because this is where I start trying to put players with teams. And I'm going to be honest with you, Cleveland's the one that got me thinking about this. Because I've been watching Quentin Johnston at TCU, going, man, him and Amari Cooper would be just dynamic. Well, you might not have gotten Deshaun Watson. I think you could have found a way around that, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a stalemate, and I feel like you paid top of the market price for a depressed asset. But how good would you think that team was next year with 4 legitimate weapons as opposed to what you are right now?
Mm-hmm.
The LA Rams, there are 2 high-level left tackle prospects that you could have taken at 8. No. We don't worry about them picks. Well, you're going to pay for it. You'll pay for it for years and years and years to come.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Les Snead will cry himself to sleep every night on his Lombardi trophy.
And that's fine.
I totally get what you're saying. I mean, that's an aside because not everybody gets to do that. These other teams that traded these first round picks, absolutely total regrets. I think in these 2 cases, or in these cases that you brought up, what was it, 5 picks?
Yes.
That were traded in the first round of next year's draft. 2 of them you can discount, in my opinion. You could discount the Cleveland thing because we're getting Deshaun Watson back. We know
and
this
he's
year's
young. The difference between him and Matthew Stafford is that you traded for a 25-year-old quarterback instead of a 33-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, look, this didn't go our way, right? We went out and got Deshaun Watson, and we were hoping that the league would be favorable. Well, they weren't. I mean, some people think they were, but it didn't work out for us this year. But we didn't get him for this year. We got him for the long haul. We got him through 2027 or 2028, whatever the deal is. We're going to have an opportunity to prove that we're better than wherever this pick's going to land next year. And they're still going to win games. That pick could be in the high teens by the time this year is over with Deshaun Watson coming back. And then the Los Angeles Rams, we did get a Super Bowl out of it. And how much is that worth? And speaking as a fan of a team that has done this, has mortgaged the entire future to win 1 Super Bowl, yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. Now you're going to be back to being horrible again.
The Rams and the Bucks have future outlooks that are bleak at best.
Mm-hmm. But we did it before. We can do it again.
Oh, yeah, it only took 20 years last time.
That's fine.
Yeah, for me, that's not fine. For me, that's not fine.
Really? For somebody...
I've been irrelevant for 14 years.
Uh-huh.
Trust me, if anybody can speak about being completely irrelevant, it's I.
That's what I was saying,
Captain
though.
Blackshirt.
But would you not give it all away for that one trophy?
I can say this logistically now, looking at my team. I wouldn't give up what I have right now for anything. I have a young team full of dogs, and I have no idea how this is going to end. There may not be a Super Bowl in the next 15 years, but there's so much hope. This team is so good, and I feel so much better than I did 2 years ago.
Now, I'm not saying we have or we had at one point the level, I mean, the sheer amount of young studs that New York has been able to put together here is unparalleled, I believe. But in a year, 2 years, I see some very similar things with my team and your team. You had all the weapons. You had a young defense that was killer. I mean, they were out there killing people. And then you had some really damn good weapons. The one thing you didn't have was the quarterback. No, we didn't have to mortgage draft picks in the future to get Tom Brady to come to Tampa Bay. But I could see your team doing that. And I think at that point, it'd be worth it. We have a shot to win a Super Bowl for the first time since 1969. Whenever we're done in a year or 2 years with this Zach Wilson thing, I will mortgage the next 4 years to try to win that Super Bowl now.
But that's the point, though. You don't have to. There's nothing that the Jets can do at this point, or Seattle, or the Giants. There is no mortgaging it. You're set at 8 positions for the next 4 years. Young, cheap, controllable assets. Now you can afford to do it. Because the salary cap's going up. You'll be able to retain these guys at a higher level because the TV money changes everything. I'm just saying, have you ever noticed that the teams that are historically good, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles, Baltimore Ravens, I mean, none of these teams have a ton of rings in the last 20 years. They all have a ring, and none of them have been irrelevant for more than a year at a time. There's a reason, because they do that one thing that I tell you all the time when we're talking about fantasy football. They just draft better.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Amboy Road and Bavard Road, Haywood County. 40 eastbound is slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Airport Road near Watson Road, expect delays both directions. East of Hendersonville, Chimney Rock Road near Reedy Patch Creek Drive, an incident causing delays. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Kelley Blue Book. Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer is an official offer to buy your car. Enter your vehicle ID info, answer some questions, then get a no-obligation offer to sell or trade it. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car, schedule a time, and drive away with confidence. For all of the its, kbb.com it.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
Ahoy, matey! At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety. From your local catch to flavors from around the world. Wild sashimi tuna, Charleston crab cakes, mountains of shrimp, bourbon salmon, wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa. It's enough to make any salty sea captain ready to set a course for the bounteous treasure of the Ingles Seafood Department. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
You're back in the Sportsocracy, and in the YouTube comments, Kevin Vick says, I'd give up every draft pick we had for the next 2 years for a franchise quarterback.
Well, you're going to have the chance to take him. It's Will Levis. You'll take him at 3. You don't have to give up anything. Just keep losing. Just keep losing. Just keep losing.
Unfortunately, they can't help themselves.
No. Although on the bright side, this week, you get Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, against the Ravens. That's not going to go well.
Yeah, you might want to win, but you don't have the ability. So this is one week where you can't mess this up.
You leave it to the Carolina Panthers. If there's a way to mess it up, they will.
If I hear one more person say, Baker's getting another shot as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
No.
Because everyone else is dead. His greatest ability is his availability. Hey, Baker, you have a helmet and you're here. Fire away.
Adam Black says Levis has to be falling.
Not really.
Because Kentucky obviously has been losing.
Well, the offensive line's awful.
Mm-hmm.
This is so what he just said, and trust me, I've heard this a lot. This is how teams missed on Josh Allen. You have to, so when I sit down, a quarterback specifically, you have to really take away everything around them. I'm not analyzing the left tackle at Kentucky or the wide receiver or Chris Rodriguez. I'm looking solely at Will Levis because that's the player you get. You don't get the 10 around them. So you take everything else out. Probably 90% of the negative plays I see from Will Levis, I don't attribute to him. If you've got a defensive end barreling down your eye holes, it greatly increases the chance that you're going to do something stupid. What I see with Will Levis in a clean pocket, he throws darts. He looks like Josh Allen. And I feel like that a lot of times people get lost in, well, he didn't win a lot in college. That is important, but it's not the end-all, be-all. There have been a slew of quarterbacks in the NFL that have been good that didn't win a ton. It's not a foreign thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think Derek Carr's a good NFL quarterback. He didn't win squirt, and he had Devontae Adams.
Right.
It's not the end-all, be-all. Now, I will say Bryce Young is clearly the number one. At this point, he's clearly number one. That's everything I hear. It does not matter who gets the number one pick, that is who they're taking. The other thing I'm hearing is Las Vegas and Pittsburgh are gearing up of if we end up in the top 5, somebody is going to Don Corleone us an offer and bye. We'll drop down to 15. It's fine. It's a deep draft. We're good. I think it was B. Malik or Evan Doyle or somebody asked me this earlier of is there a chance that the Raiders move off of Derek Carr and take a quarterback at 2? No, there is not.
There's too much money on that contract.
It's not so much that. I mean, you got to look out for Seattle. I mean, Seattle knows that they're limited with Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you they're going to make a move, but ask yourself this, which is more palatable? I franchise Geno Smith for $30-some-odd million, or I trade up from 7 to 2, maybe give you a first-rounder down the line, or I give you my other first-rounder this year, and I have a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have the guy with DK, with Tyler Lockett, add another weapon down the line. The line's good and young. I won't be shocked if this is the heaviest trade top 10 that we've ever seen. You have too many teams with ammo and not enough quarterbacks. Look, Jalen Carter is good. Will Anderson is good. Miles Murphy is good. I mean, I could do this for 10 minutes. There are a lot of players that are good. But there's not a huge difference. There are 3 real impact quarterbacks in this draft. Somebody's going to make a move for them. The chances of this finishing Houston, Carolina, Detroit is not real high. Those are the 3 teams that really need a quarterback. Chances of them picking 1, 2, 3 are not great.
Right.
And if you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan, let me give you something to incentivize being god-awful. It could be 3 1s plus that it costs to get up to your spot because of how high so many of these teams are on Will Levis and C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's coming off Bryce Young. That's just not going to happen.
No.
Houston will sit there and take him happily. And now the other two? Yeah, we can talk about that.
I just look at Will Levis and I wonder, is he the next generation quarterback? Does he fit in with the next generation of quarterbacks, these more mobile, big arm quarterbacks that we've seen?
He is mobile. I mean, the problem falls in that you're evaluating a player that is playing with average talent against 2 that are on super teams. That's where the big misnomer comes. If Will Levis played at Alabama, I mean, I'll say this as clearly as I can. If Will Levis played at Alabama, he would be the unquestioned, no doubt, number 1. Because I think he would put up numbers that make Bryce Young's look teeny tiny. Because he has a howitzer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just imagine what I could do with the receivers that Bryce Young has had. It's just a completely different evaluation. That's where you got to be careful with somebody like Hendon Hooker. He's an old guy. He's 24 right now, be 25 before he plays a game in the NFL.
Right.
I like him. But you got to understand, he was not this guy until he was 3 years older than practically every person he's playing with, and he has 3 wide receivers that'll go in the first 2 days of when they come out. You got to be careful with that. That will skew you, and that's how you wind up with Akili Smith. You can't play dead in the Western. You just one-readed yourself into looking like a superstar. And I'm not saying the kid can't play. I think he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to ask yourself this question. Why was he only good when there was high-level talent around him? You watch him at Virginia Tech, he was undraftable. And now you see him at Tennessee and go, well, he's a no-doubt first-round pick. Does the name Joey Harrington mean anything to you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Does the name Matt Leinart mean anything to you? I mean, look, I like Matt Leinart a lot. But as an NFL quarterback, he had some hobbies that didn't necessarily, they weren't conducive to an NFL quarterback. Wasn't necessarily grinding on the playbook at 10 o'clock on a Thursday night. He was at Dollar Shots at night at the spot down the street. Matt Leinart and I have one thing in common. Our favorite party is the next one.
Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, and it's time to get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
There's one business in Ormond Beach, Florida, that's not real happy these days because last Thursday, their business got broken into. Obviously, that's a problem. And then when you discover that $350,000 in damage was done in the break-in, it's going to set you back just a little bit. It was at a foam business. Not phone, foam. Imperial Foam and Insulation in Ormond Beach, Florida on Thursday. They found that apparently the people having a little too much fun in their business overnight they were just hell-bent on destruction. And the pictures from the business looks like somebody had one of those foam rave parties. You ever seen those where it's got like the foam machines?
Oh, yeah, I'm out. It's too many people in too small of an area. Out.
Well, I don't think there was not a party. There was no signs that a party was had in this business. But apparently the perpetrators here slashed bags of raw polystyrene material, moved forklifts and crashed them into other products, smashed property, and spray painted their names on foam blocks. The weird part of the story is who did it. It was 3 teenage girls. Call me sexist if you want to, but
at Sports Tank
when
ESPN.
I think major crimes like this, I would immediately go to, that 16-year-old boys. No doubt about it.
Well, I mean, you and I were both 16-year-old boys, and I'm going to be honest, I was not a particularly smart one. I don't know about you, but the fact that I am here to tell some of these tales, kind of shocking to me.
Yeah. I mean, I would think, okay, boys fully capable. These were 3 girls, ages 12 to 13, broke into this business and cost $350,000 in damage in one night. That terrifies me. Knowing that I have 2 11-year-old boys at home going, wait a minute. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I sit back sometimes and go, I feel like Tank's going to have some really interesting stories in the next 5 years. I was a boy, and I know some of the dumb things I did. And yours have a tag team partner.
They do.
That should terrify you.
It does.
As many of you know, I will be tying the knot next year to lovely HWA. We're not officially married yet. Our wedding has been pushed back because of Rona multiple times. Well, there's a trend right now on the TikTok that I fully believe I would get killed if I tried to pull this off.
Okay.
They didn't give the names. There was a wedding over the weekend. And the groom apparently is a little bit dramatic. And I take that from this is how the video was captioned.
Okay, it's going down your alley.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait till you hear the end and you'll go, I could 100% see you doing that. He didn't tell the bride this. So she didn't know what was going to happen, but apparently he told the entire wedding party because they knew how to react.
By the way, never a good idea.
Not to tell the bride?
About anything.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, always tell the bride everything.
I have a special surprise cooked up. No.
I have one. Ring bear. Let's go. So he showed the groom showed up in some kind of style. This was an outdoor wedding, so you see all of the chairs, and the music starts. And everybody turns around, and what do they find at the end of the aisle? A hearse that has backed itself to the front of the aisle, and the entire wedding party goes to the back of the hearse. They pull out a coffin, they walk it down the aisle, and what pops out of that box? The groom.
Oh, my.
They actually did get married. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say there were words said walking away from that were less than ideal.
Oh, yeah. What the was that?
Oh, if I did this to Amy, she might actually just shoot me.
Yes.
Like when I got out of the box, she would say, keep that box because he's going to need that momentarily.
See, one of my favorite HWA moments was when after the show where this topic came up, when I got to see her genuine reaction to the idea that Jeremy was going to have Mel Kiper do their wedding. She was having none of it. I thought she was going to slit your throat just for even thinking about it.
Well,
if you tried to pull some kind of stunt like this, you would need that hearse to leave the wedding.
Well, here's the thing. If I hadn't told her who Mel Kiper was, she wouldn't have known in the first place, okay? I still feel like I could pull that off if nobody said anything. If we all went, man, that's a very slick-looking individual that's marrying you. Yeah. Yellow Pages. Shut up, Bobby!
I think she would have figured it out from all of the draft material that you've consumed with her in the background. Like, as soon as she heard, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Like, no.
Tremendous agility.
Exactly.
The fourth time agility got pushed into the vows, I think she would go, something's happening here.
Yeah, she would have figured it out. She's a smart girl. Ain't no doubt about it. Just don't do that. I mean, I get, like, if you got a surprise, like you flew in her best friend from grade school who now lives in Germany that she only gets to see every 4 years. Like, that's a good surprise for a wedding day. Screwing with the ceremony itself, never a good idea.
So I'm going to be honest. Since you mentioned the Mel Kiper thing, I called the representation of 3 famous people to see if they would have any interest in marrying us.
Okay.
One of whom we both know, which was Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, okay.
And the response there was basically, if you could make that work with my schedule, we might be able to make that work.
Nice.
The other 2 were Mel Kiper and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Got no response on those 2.
No. Did you actually did you leave a message on Ted DiBiase's answer machine?
No, I left it with his booking agent.
Hell, I'm surprised he's got a booking agent these days.
Oh, yeah. He still does appearances. I mean, look, that laugh doesn't really age out.
Oh, yeah. I would think his appearances are more at, like, card shows.
He's a minister.
Is he really?
That's actually why I called him, because he's actually a minister.
No way!
Yeah, he's an actual preacher.
How did I not know this?
I didn't know it until I went down this rabbit hole and I went, oh, wait.
Well, see, now
I'm good with all of that.
Well, see, that's just more proof that Tank's going to hell. I'm making fun of a minister on the radio.
Kevin Vick said, Jeremy, you just got to offer more because every man has a price.
It's true. It's very true. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Remaining unseasonably cold here as we head through the end of the week. Decreasing clouds for us here. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the middle part of the 20s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow, and cold. Highs only in the low part of the 40s. Near 20 Thursday night. Mix of clouds and sun. Still rather chilly Friday afternoon. Highs upper 40s. Over the weekend, sunshine but remaining cold. Highs both afternoons in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound again slow between exit 2 and Brevard Road. 26 eastbound delays between I-40 and Brevard Road. Haywood County 40 eastbound slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Sweden Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Biltmore Forest area and Overlook Road. Merriman Avenue northbound approaching Edgewood Road is slow. I'm Lemon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Halloween is over, but hiring is still scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
At Target, Black Friday deals are happening right now. Save on the hottest gifts to get ahead this holiday, like must-have toys, the latest tech, and incredible offers to get your home holiday ready. You'll discover new Black Friday deals each week in stores and at Target.com. And make holiday shopping easier than ever using free drive-up, free order pickup, and same-day delivery. Get low prices and great deals so you can holiday your way. Only at Target. Exclusions apply.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and the House of Reprehensibles, Adam Black, our resident preacher, says, so is Tully Blanchard.
I did not know
He's
that.
a preacher. I did know that. And you know how I know that? Because I used to live in Ladson, South Carolina. And on the road that I lived on, there was a Baptist church, a stone's I could have hit a golf ball from my front yard to that church. And one day, out on the little sign out front, they said, this Sunday, guest preacher, Tully Blanchard. And me and a buddy of mine showed up with Four Horsemen t-shirts on and sat in the back row. And as soon as he came out, we stood up and went, woo! He was not happy.
I can only imagine.
He was not pleased with us, and we were politely asked to leave the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church and never come back.
That is the second best story you have ever told, other than being the original kid that was supposed to piddle in your pants.
Yes,
in Billy Madison.
In Billy Madison, yeah, absolutely. So, I was fully aware that Tully Blanchard is a preacher now. Lex Luger also is an advocate, and obviously he's been in town several times with Brad Johnson Celebrity Classic, helping raise money for Eblin Charities. He is a hell of a motivational speaker. All the stuff that he's been through in his life, to just one day, from going from the total package to waking up one day and not being able to use 3/4 of his body. It's just an amazing story. Gives the glory to God every chance he can. It's a great follow on Twitter as well. If you need a daily little pick-me-up, Lex Luger's usually good for one or two of those every week. So
the only wrestler I follow is the Iron Sheik.
Oh, I love the Iron Sheik. He also starts my day pretty well every other day because, he still holds the grudge against Hulk Hogan all these years later.
This really makes me want to go down the rabbit hole even further of what celebrity can I get to marry HWA and I?
Uh-huh.
But you got to remember, it not only has to be funny, it has to be something that I can sell to her. That was the reason I thought the $1 Million Man would be perfect, because she has no idea who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have booked that, and she would have just thought we had a really eccentric preacher that laughed a lot.
Okay, I'm going to throw a name out here. This is like our daily drafts. Price is not an option. I'm just going to throw this name out there, and you take it or you throw it right back if you don't like it. James Spader.
That is the best voice in all of Hollywood. He has the best voice beyond really any shadow of a doubt. If I was going to go that route, though, I would go Christopher Walken. Yeah. That's one that would get me killed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If she showed up walking down the aisle and she saw Christopher Walken standing behind me, she would just turn around and walk right back out that
door. She's a big fan. I know y'all are both a big fan of The Blacklist.
Yes.
So I feel like that's one that you could get away with. It would be funny and entertaining at the same time.
That is an interesting one. In the chat, feel free to
Billy Bob Thornton
said Billy Bob Thornton doing Carl Childers. You take his man. Be your lovely wedded husband in sickness and health. Sick or poor, till death you part.
Y'all meet us down in the fellowship hall. We're going to have mustard and biscuits afterwards.
It's funny. I have a mutual friend with Billy Bob Thornton.
Do you?
Yeah, he's in a blues band.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good.
They are good.
They're really good. I have a friend that opened for him for a while.
Nice.
And I could probably make that happen.
See,
he's a cool guy.
There you go.
Oh, that would be tremendous.
Weigh in the YouTube comments.
This is a topic we did not plan on discussing 100%. Today. I love these shows that just go, woo! him?
Oh, yeah. Completely down the rabbit hole. We did have a fantasy football question asked by Dylan Graves. Cole Kmet.
He's hurt right now, but he is.
Cole Kmet has. I mean, are you starting to come around to he's got some fantasy value here with the Chicago Bears?
I never said he didn't. I mean, if you remember, I said he was Tyler Eifert without the injury history when he came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust Justin Fields as far as I can throw him.
But I think now you have to, don't you?
For one more week. One more week, and then he's done. Doo-dah, doo-dah. When he plays the Jets and Bills, the doo-dah day.
But still we'll see 6 from Cole Kmet if he plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented player.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cole Kmet, especially at a position that just seems to be getting worse by the day.
Oh, tight end is so awful.
Anytime you look at Evan Ingram and go, that's a no-doubt starter every week, that should tell you everything you need to know about tight end in fantasy football.
Right. I mean, 2 years ago that we had the Travis Kelce no matter what theme to our fantasy
That was last
drafts?
year.
Was that last year?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why we didn't do it again this year.
I did do it.
Did you?
I've said this on this show. I'm in a league where I have 5 tight ends. I have Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, Kyle Pitts. I don't remember who the other 2 are. I like George Kittle. I laugh every week and just go, man, nobody in this league has a tight end but me. I'm also 8-1 in that league, 9-1 in that league.
Good for you.
Throwing that out there.
Good for you.
It's a huge advantage.
I only have one of those leagues, and I just lost Cooper Kupp this past week.
Yep, you should draft better.
So I don't like that. I don't like that. But I'm 9-1, and I have scored 300 more points than everybody else in this league.
I have a few of those.
So I don't feel like losing Cooper Kupp's going to tank my season. Just saying. I don't always draft poorly.
Just usually.
Just usually.
Specifically if I'm in the league.
Well, yeah, because you throw me off, and then I'm already intimidated by your presence, and now I feel like I got to do something special. And I always trip over my own feet.
Terrell Owens. Oh, no. He's not in the league anymore.
He's not good at the footballs anymore. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound again slow between exit 2 and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound delays between I-40 and approaching French Broad River. 26 westbound pockets of slow traffic volume between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 eastbound slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Halloween is over, but hiring is still scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for 2 at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
At Target, Black Friday deals are happening right now. Save on the hottest gifts to get ahead this holiday, like must-have toys, the latest tech, and incredible offers to get your home holiday ready. You'll discover new Black Friday deals each week in stores and at Target.com. And make holiday shopping easier than ever using free drive-up, free order pickup, and same-day delivery. Get low prices and great deals so you can holiday your way. Only at Target. Exclusions apply.
Did you know Kohl's has early holiday deals on the top toys? It was a game changer for me. I got Kohl's Cash and all my kids' favorites, like Marvel must-haves starting at $11.99, Squishmallows for $25 and under, a Fisher-Price Dreamhouse for $49.99, and found so much more. Plus, you can take an extra 20% off or save even more with a Kohl's card. More gifts, more savings, more reasons to get to Kohl's. Select styles, 20% offer ends November 19th. Toys, coupons do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for two at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina.
I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. You knew it was coming. You knew at some point I had to get this in today. Again, best team in the country. Number one, Georgia Bulldogs, the college football playoff rankings. New ones came out last night. And no surprises. There were no changes in the top five. You still have Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, and Tennessee. I get asked this more than anything else, because I do what I do, of how do I think this is going to go? Where is this going to end? Who are going to be the four teams in the college football playoff when all is said and done in 3 weeks after the regular season and the championship games are over?
Nothing has changed for me.
And I still keep coming back to
the SEC Big Ten Challenge.
The SEC Big Ten Challenge. Because I just can't buy TCU.
Vegas doesn't either, if it makes you feel any better. Vegas hasn't bought them the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of sharps that are heavily invested in Baylor this week, who has not looked like they could play dead in a Western. If that's who you lose to, oof.
I mean, you have no prayer. But I feel that way about everybody outside of the Big Ten and the SEC. You don't have a prayer.
The thing that I can't stop coming back to is if Tennessee does not lose another game, they have to be in.
I would agree.
I don't care if you play in the SEC title game. I don't care about any of that.
You have one loss
to be in.
Right. You have one loss in the toughest conference in college football, and that one loss was to the number one team in the country. And it was, I get it was a dominating win for Georgia. But do you think that game turns out that way more often than not?
No.
I don't
think
either.
the rain helped a great deal. Being at home helped a great deal. I mean, and ask yourself this question. Baylor has looked terrible. They're 6-4. One of the most disappointing teams in all of high-level college football. What is the line in Baylor with them playing TCU?
I don't know.
Take a stab at it. Do you think TCU's markedly better team? They'd surely be favored by 2 touchdowns at home.
No. They don't blow anybody out, so I would think that would be 6?
2.5.
Really?
They don't even go full field goal.
Wow.
And the sharp money's on Baylor. I will not be shocked if TCU loses this way. I think they're going to get got at some point. But I'll go one step further. I'm not sure I care. If you keep winning touchdown ball games with this mediocre conference, at some point, I'm just going to look at it and go, what would happen if you played Tennessee? Let's say Georgia just eviscerates LSU in the SEC title game. And then you look at it and go, Georgia is clearly the best team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's 1 loss to them. You also beat Alabama. You also beat LSU, who's right behind you. At some point, you just have to go, this is the best team in the country. Like, this is the second best team in the country. And then you have the 2 Big Ten teams. And that will sort itself out. My fear is that Michigan loses to Ohio State, and they're the one that gets pushed out. Because they don't have it. There's no impressive win on that schedule.
No. The best thing you have is Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see them, because if they do lose, it's going to be close.
I got into this on another show earlier in the week. The thing you have to remember about Tennessee is at some point after Ohio State and Michigan play, you're going to have a 1-loss Big Ten team, and you're going to have to compare those 2 teams against each other. That's where I feel like we've kind of missed the boat. TCU wins out, they'll be in whether they should be or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the loser of that game that gets pushed out because you're going to be compared with Tennessee.
Right.
They lost to the best team in the country. You lost to the other team. You don't have any wins to back you up. I don't physically see how you could let one of them in and Tennessee out.
I would agree.
But they played in their conference title game. Well, their conference is not very good.
I think the entire college football world should be rooting for TCU to lose.
Absolutely.
To get the best
This was
matchups.
cute. I don't want to see you play Georgia.
Right. Because do you think that there's any shot that game stays close?
Oh, good Lord, no. They would do the same thing it would look like Cincinnati when they played Alabama last year. You don't look like you belong on this field. I mean, it's cute that you can keep it close, but there is a very obvious talent deficiency here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how I believe that would look.
Yeah, I do too. Coming up after the Sports Center update, top of the hour here, we will start off the third hour of the program as we always do with a daily draft. And since we kind of got into this discussion yesterday just a bit, I mean, my number one winner of the weekend this past weekend in the daily draft on Monday was Kevin O'Connell. Because I think he's inserted himself into the Coach of the Year conversation. So, daily draft, we will do it. Coaches of the Year, who would be your pick? Jeremy and I pit our wits against each other to come up with the best slate of candidates for Coach of the Year in the NFL. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Don't forget to go to the YouTube channel, thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Subscribe to the channel when you get there. Also, the link for the DFS contest is in the description of the video. Play DFS with us each and every week for your chance to win the Beer City Fantasy Football Player of the Year belt and the big prize pack.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Remaining unseasonably cold here as we head through the end of the week. Decreasing clouds for us here. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the middle part of the 20s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow, and cold. Highs only in the low part of the 40s. Near 20 Thursday night. Mix of clouds and sun. Still rather chilly Friday afternoon. Highs upper 40s. Over the weekend, sunshine but remaining cold. Highs both afternoons in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound again slow between exit 2 and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound delays between I-40 and approaching French Broad River. 26 westbound pockets of slow traffic volume between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 eastbound slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Some banks can make it complicated to redeem credit card rewards, but with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the first time since he was suspended 11 games by the NFL for violating the personal conduct policy, quarterback Deshaun Watson was on the practice field with his teammates today. He is eligible to make his Browns regular season debut against Houston December 4th. As the Bills get ready to host Cleveland on Sunday, quarterback Josh Allen limited at practice today with a right elbow injury. Allen and the Bills in a funk. Back-to-back losses, and he's had multiple turnovers in those games. Allen, with 5 red zone turnovers this season, needs better situational awareness, advises Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
It's hard to win games when your quarterback is doing that. And what we anticipate as we get into the second half, this team is going to play better opponents, more closely contested ball games, especially within the division. And right now, the way that Josh Allen is playing, you can't have any degree of confidence that they're going to be able to climb back up in the standings and win the AFC East.
NBA, one night after playing 40 minutes in a win, Maverick star Luka Doncic is out tonight against Houston to rest. Mariners, in need of another big bat, acquired slugger Teoscar Hernandez from the Blue Jays for reliever Eric Swanson and a pitching prospect.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
You are in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Don't forget to take us with you everywhere you go, live or on demand. You can also see us on your smartphone or whatever device you have YouTube on, your smart TV. Put us on the big screen. You really want to see this white, pasty, unshaven face.
King Boo.
Yeah. Up on your 70-inch television in your home. You can get us on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat each and every day. Top of the third hour of the program, we always reserve this for the daily draft. And, you know, since I brought it up with the Coach of the Year, we figured it's a good opportunity for us to draft our Coach of the Year candidates around the league.
I have the first pick.
You do?
I do have the first pick.
Okay.
And I feel like, as this was something that got said to me no less than 6 times last night, with the first pick, I got to give it to somebody's meemaw. Give it to Brian Daboll.
Oh, Brian Daboll.
If I had a vote, that's who that would be who I'm, no doubt. And I look at the highest end candidates here. He's the one doing more with less. And this team's 7-2. Do I feel like they are markedly less talented than the Philadelphia Eagles? I do. One of them has much less of a quarterback. It's also a big market, which I do think has to be talked about. And it's a tough place to win. And you're doing this in a way that doesn't make a ton of sense. I feel like not a lot of people can get the credit for this. It's Brian Daboll, Saquon Barkley, in the message, repeat the line.
Mm-hmm.
Wink Martindale, probably a distant 3.
Yeah, you're in the ballpark.
I can't give the credit to Daniel Jones.
No. No one would. I mean,
he is not the favorite in Vegas. He's plus 800. And I think right now that's a tasty little wager that you can throw a doubloon or two on.
I mean, the GM. Do you put some of this on the GM?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But the figurehead is the coach, and to me, Brian Daboll would be my favorite for Coach of the Year.
Okay. Brian Daboll goes number 1 to Flostradamus Jeremy Greene. Huh. Well, I mean, since I said it on Monday, I feel like I need to do this. My number 1 is Kevin O'Connell. And here's the part I struggle with. Was this who the Minnesota Vikings were with Mike Zimmer, but he just couldn't get the job done? Or has Kevin O'Connell come in here and brought not only a new fire to this team, but also a game plan that just works so much better for the Minnesota Vikings? I think it's a little bit of both. But again, the Vikings are sitting at 8-1, and we're actually having the discussion of, are they the best team in the league 9 weeks into the season, 10 weeks into the season? It's just something you never really expected. I mean, we talked about this team all offseason long about they're going to be that team that sneaks into the playoffs and you're not going to want to face them and blah, blah, blah. Now they look like I'm not going to say a dominant team because they win a lot of games really close. But there's something to be said for winning those coin flip games over and over and over again. It all comes back to coaching. So to me, Kevin O'Connell, he definitely has to be in the discussion for Coach of the Year. And then I'm torn. I'm torn on the next one. And I'm going to do this just because it's Rob Saleh.
And that makes me very angry.
I know it does.
You just did that.
I know it does. But the New York Jets are 6-3. And why are they 6-3?
Because the defense is special.
Exactly. This is that example of if you're going to hire a defensive coach, he better damn well be good on the defensive side of the ball.
I could see a path that Rob Saleh is actually getting D'Amico Ryans a job every week.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is going to be the defensive guy that gets hired as a head coach in this cycle. And it's not exclusively because of Saleh. I look at what's happening in Miami and go, that probably isn't hurting anything.
Mm-hmm.
That Kyle Shanahan tree is looking rather fruitful at the moment. But, I mean, he wasn't making it back to you, I can tell you that much. He was number 2 on my list.
I had a feeling, and, you know, aside from the dig at Jeremy Jets fan, I still honestly believe he should be in the discussion for Coach of the Year. I don't think anybody really expected the New York Jets to be 6-3.
I can tell you I didn't.
And have this much prospect for the rest of the season. You're going to be a playoff team. You
should be a playoff team.
I feel confident that you will be a playoff team. And I don't like you. I don't like that for any of your opponents that you would face in the playoffs.
I don't want to play this team in January because they're just built different. You know, the front four is ferocious, and when they're healthy, buddy. I do wish they'd gotten Jerry Tillery.
And if you would, if you had a better option at quarterback, there would be no question.
I think so long as you can keep Zach reined in, you're fine. Because he does, as long as you got Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, that's two guys that, and I know Elijah hasn't done much, but you know that's a guy that can beat you over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach has an absolute cannon. He has one of the biggest arms in the league. I think that plays into why the run game is so good. It's why it was so much different with Joe Flacco. At this point, Flacco does not have that cannon arm deep down the field. He had the biggest arm in the league in his day. Well, now he's 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I see a difference in the offense, even if it's not always the most visually attractive thing you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. So my second pick is is no doubt Rob Saleh, and a big old tip of the cap to Joe Douglas for putting this team together, for drafting this team. You got a bright future ahead of you there, sir.
I'm not sad about it. I am sad that he will not be on my team, and you are a jerk.
Yeah, I know.
That means I'm going to have to do something I don't want to, because I had two picks here, and you just took one of them. My first one's Pete Carroll. And for me, the way my vote goes is who did more with less, which is why I don't want to have to take who I'm going to take next, but I'm going to.
Uh-huh.
There is really not a lot of reason that you should look at this Seahawks team and go, they're as good as they are. Now, do I think the record's a little misleading? I do, but I feel that way about the Giants as well. And what do you take that back to? When I see a team whose record is probably better than the team is, that's on the coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the coach. It's on the quarterback. You're winning games that you probably shouldn't on just a Jimmy's and Joe's standpoint. And Pete Carroll is going to be hard to not vote for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'll win it, but there's a great possibility they should.
I mean, it's going to depend on the rest of the season. Should they end up winning this division, I would say yes. He would be at least top 3 betting favorites. Should be. But I don't see that happening. I see this team regressing, coming back. Geno Smith looks more like the Geno Smith we saw in Germany than the Geno Smith we saw the first 7-8 weeks of the season. And this team still, while good and while they have a lot of wins, they don't have the division championship. And you go, it was a great coaching job, but it may not be the best.
Pete Carroll is currently tied with Brian Dable at plus 800, which is right behind Kevin O'Connell, who you took second.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the heavy betting favorite, which is who I have to take right here in spite of the fact I don't really want to. Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
I mean, the record is going to be ridiculous, the Washington game notwithstanding. And I do believe there's another loss or two, especially towards the end of the season where you don't really have anything to play for.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think Minnesota will lose a couple games. And then there's really nobody outside of that to challenge you for the 1 seed in the NFC. There's a path that the last 2 games mean absolutely nothing for Philadelphia.
Right.
I do believe that could hinder him. He needs this team to be 15-2 for him to win this. I think this is one time that Vegas, I believe, has the odds wrong. Because I don't think they're looking at past experience with Coach of the Year. It's not usually who has the best record.
Mm-hmm.
It's who has the best record that you didn't see coming. So that's the reason that it was pushed down for me. But I can't go any lower.
No.
There is a drastic drop-off from here. For a very specific reason. Because I have a feeling you're going to take the next guy,
mm-hmm.
and there is no shot he wins this.
Really? I don't know who you're referring to. But my next pick, it's going to come out of your division.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Mike McDaniel.
Yep, no shot he wins it.
Why?
Tua thing. The Tua thing will keep and I can't tell you what percentage of voters it is, but the fact that he was the figurehead of that, they will not vote for it. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's the way that will go. Because there will be people that vote for this that think that would be a black eye on the league of the guy that mishandled the concussion protocol so badly
mm-hmm.
being crowned Coach of the Year. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. I didn't say I agree with it.
Yeah, it's insane. But now that you say it, I hadn't thought about it that way, and you're 100% right.
He's the trap because he's next in odds. He's plus 1,200.
I wouldn't.
You could put him at plus 12 million for me and Seacrest out. There's no way.
No, absolutely no way. I wasn't even thinking about that. But you cannot deny that Mike McDaniels has been good for this team.
No doubt.
And I also think, the players deserve some credit here. It's not all just Mike McDaniels. But, I mean, Tyreek Hill, the addition, obviously has been fantastic. Tua has taken the step forward. He looks so much more like what they wanted him to be. Remember when they drafted him? They were pumping him up to be the next Dan Marino, or at least the greatest quarterback that the Dolphins had had. Not saying much. You got a whole lot of Cleo Lemons in there since Dan Marino. But it was very rocky, and now I don't feel like there are many questions, if any, out there.
He deserves to be on this list. In my opinion, he very much deserves to be on this list. I just see no path that he's going.
But do you agree with me that the Tua doubters have been silenced by this?
For now.
for now? What's it going to take?
When it gets cold. Historically, he has not played well in cold weather. So if this comes off the tracks, and look, that schedule is daunting in places. I feel like he needs to win a playoff game. And I know he's young in this league, and I might be overanalyzing this. There are a lot of people 2 years out going, you can't even kick in his fifth-year option. And so I'm probably – this is like the Lamar Jackson rule. You can do as many things in the regular season as you want to. Until you win in the playoffs, there will be doubters, there will be detractors, and they will be loud.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Now, I can't wait to see where you go from here. Because I have two that I'm almost positive that you won't take, and it will give me an easy victory.
Interesting. Well, my next pick, I'm going to think about it for a minute. We'll take a break, give a couple of minutes for the old noggin to work it out here. See if I can't just shut old Jeremy up when he thinks he wins. He thinks he wins every time. You're in the Sports
I do a lot.
Here on ESPN Asheville Daily Draft, Coach of the Year candidates. That's what we're drafting here next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic time go 240 westbound between Shuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 240 on the eastbound side is slow between exit 2 and exit 4A. 26 eastbound, light delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound slowing near George's Branch Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. In Hendersonville, US 64 near Blythe Street near Oakdale Cemetery, seeing delays both directions. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Some banks can make it complicated to redeem credit card rewards. But with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways for children of all ages to learn about sustainability and environmental education at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
This is a weekly test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We're in the middle of the daily draft here in the third hour of the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It all started off with Brian Daboll at number 1 for
Somebody's
Jeremy
Meemaw.
Greene. Yep. If you haven't seen the NFL Coaches as Women memes, those are quite hilarious. I showed them to my wife last night. She got a great kick out of, well, the next guy I'm going to draft in today's daily draft. I'll tell you who that is coming up in just a second. Brian Daboll went number 1 overall to Jeremy. He followed that up with Pete Carroll, Nick Sirianni. Hell of a group. I have Kevin O'Connell, Rob Salah of the New York Jets, Mike McDaniels, and Andy Reid. Look, I know what you're going to say. It's Andy Reid. We expected Andy Reid to lead a good football team. Yes, we know. I know. And nobody's going to – it's not going to be like I just don't think he's going to get enough votes to win it. But I feel like this might be a year where just because he's been one of the greatest coaches in the NFL for the last 7 years, and even before that with the Philadelphia Eagles, he should get a lot of credit for keeping this team grounded, just doing what they do and putting out a number 1 team again, despite the fact that everybody in the preseason said, oh, well, this team's going to take a step back. No Tyreek Hill, that's a big problem. Not so much. They're 7-2, back to number 1 in the power rankings this week. And honestly, you look at the rest of their schedule and go, there's a loss there, maybe 2. If Patrick Mahomes gets the flu, God forbid. I just feel like Andy Reid needs some credit for how this Kansas City Chiefs team has rebounded from all the flack that they were getting in the offseason.
I can tell you Andy Reid was not even on my list.
Which is a crime to me.
Well, he's going to get the treatment of the same coach that I'm getting ready to select.
Okay.
It's the Bill Belichick treatment. Bill hasn't won one of these in 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
He won 2 early. Then it became old hat, and the only time he's won one since is when they went undefeated. It's an expectation. Voters, they just look at this and go, you have to do something special.
Mm-hmm.
For you to get this, you have to do something special. I feel like Bill has now been recycled to that point, and if they make the playoffs, it would be hard for me to not give it to him. As you talk about Seattle having a lack of talent, look at that New England roster.
It's a fair point.
And I'm conjecturing at this point because I don't really see how it's anybody outside of the top 5.
Conjecturing?
Yep, I made up a word.
That's a new one?
Yep, I did it. I made up a word. No big deal. Name's on the door. I can do that. I just feel like if Bill got to the playoffs, it would be so hard to not at least have him on the ballot. And this is, I will say this again, this is the best coaching job I've ever seen him do. And I feel like he needed this year to say, it wasn't just Tom. I can maybe not win at the highest level, but I can get my team in the playoffs with nothing really.
Okay. Bill Belichick, not bad. Not bad at all. And for your final selection?
Mike Vrabel.
Ooh.
If he's the 1 seed in the AFC. If he's the 1 seed in the AFC with, without a doubt, the worst quarterback situation of any team that will be in contention for the playoffs, he would be hard to bypass.
Okay.
Both of those would need
But they were the
a
number
hand.
1 seed last year.
Yeah, and this team's not near – just from having no A.J. Brown, trading your best playmaker outside of Derrick Henry, and then you do it again?
Right. Okay.
That would be hard for me to bypass.
Not bad. All right.
Now, he did get it last year, and the chances of somebody winning it 2 years in a row, not great. But my next pick would have been Arthur Smith. And that would require a lot.
It would. It would require a lot. I thought about him. I really did. But for my final selection, today's daily draft, where we're talking about, coaches that surpassed all expectations, there's only one name that really should come to mind, and it's Jeff Saturday, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, stop
He's
it.
1-0 in his head coaching career, coming off that, bad loss in his last job against Pinewood Preparatory Academy or whoever the hell it was.
I knew you were going to do something, Homer. I saw the look on your face.
Because at this point, what does it matter? Honestly.
I thought you were about to throw out Todd Bowles or something.
No, when you get to this point in the list of coaches that should be in the discussion for Coach of the Year, you don't really have a good argument. Like you said, the next one on the list should be Arthur Smith. And nobody's going to look at that Atlanta Falcons team and go, yeah, that guy, he's doing a hell of a job, which he is.
I love secondary betting markets. Arthur Smith has better odds right now than Bill Belichick does.
Does he really?
Bill Belichick's plus 10,000. And I'm looking at that going, I've seen me throw a hundo on much, much stupider.
Jeff Saturday, 1-0, is a head coach in the NFL. He doesn't have a shot, but I feel like he's got just as much a shot as Arthur Smith does at this point.
Which is 0.
Exactly. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It's now time for the most important message that you're going to hear today. And as always, Flostradamus.
Don't do crimes!
Yeah, don't do crimes. And crimes may have been done. There were no criminal charges filed, but that is the defense that is being used right now, at least on the part of one NFL franchise. Today, a Duval County Circuit Court judge dismissed the discrimination lawsuit that was filed by former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Josh Lambo. Obviously saying that former head coach Urban Meyer created a hostile work environment and the team did nothing to stop it. The judge dismissed the lawsuit without prejudice, and now Josh Lambo has 21 days to file an amended complaint. And here was the argument from the lawyers of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, the reason that there was a hostile work environment was not because of anything that we did as a franchise. It wasn't based on any policy that we had in place. It was because of the criminal actions of our head coach. Interesting.
He did crimes.
He did cry. He did. He did cry. He did assault Josh Lambo. Remember the whole you kick the kicker story.
Don't kick the kicker.
He had missed a couple of field goals in the preseason, and Urban Meyer comes by while they're stretching out and kicks him and says, make your stinking kicks. Only he didn't say stinking.
That actually built a new fantasy football theory for me, which is kick the kicker.
Exactly. And look, you can't argue that is a hostile work environment. It's not a way any employee should be treated by any employer. Some old school people will go, oh, my football coach did worse to me back in the day. Yeah, but you weren't a professional.
Correct.
You weren't being paid millions of dollars as a professional. That's not how professionals treat other professionals. And the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars actually had the stones to say criminal actions by Urban Meyer, I think that's a pretty bold statement.
One of my favorite things to tell in these stories is dumb things that protesters do.
Uh-huh.
And I have another one.
Yes.
This is from ALF, the Animal Liberation Front. That scared me to death.
It did me too.
The Animal Liberation Front, which the fact that spells ALF is really, really funny to me.
Hilarious.
It's in Van Wert, Ohio. Vandalism freed thousands of mink at a rural northwest Ohio farm, leaving an estimated 10,000 of the small carnivorous mammals unaccounted for, the local sheriff has said. That's not the stupid thing they did. They let out between 25 and 40,000. Two big problems. One, there is a U.S. highway right beside where they let these animals out. And what happens when animals cross roads? They meet what?
They get to the other side. We all know that.
Well, some of them got to the other side. So many of them didn't that they had to bring in a crane to move them all.
Oh, no.
That's dumb thing numero uno. Dumb thing numero dos is they're domesticated minks. They can't survive in the wild, dum-dum.
Wait.
They will die if they are not found because they don't know how to hunt their own food.
Who domesticates weasels?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't. But they left their call letters, Alf, and the phrase, "we'll be back." I hope you don't come back to do this because you basically just killed 25,000 of them. I don't think that was what you meant to do. Maybe think things through. Like, we're going to let out a bunch of domesticated weasels. And, no, they don't know how to survive in the wild.
No.
Probably should have researched that before you did it.
Yeah.
Or maybe just leave other people's things alone.
Mind your own business.
Maybe that's the thing you should do. Don't glue yourself to a court. Don't glue yourself to the counter at Starbucks. And don't let out domesticated weasels that can't protect themselves.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Remaining unseasonably cold here as we head through the end of the week. Decreasing clouds for us here. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the middle part of the 20s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow, and cold. Highs only in the low part of the 40s. Near 20 Thursday night. Mix of clouds and sun. Still rather chilly Friday afternoon. Highs upper 40s. Over the weekend, sunshine but remaining cold. Highs both afternoons in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between Amboy Road and US 1923 exit 4A. 240 eastbound again slow between Tunnel Road and exit 8. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. In Hendersonville, US 64 at Blythe Street near Oakdale Cemetery, seeing delays both directions. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. Looking for holiday gifts that won't be re-gifted? Head to eBay Motors. With millions of parts and accessories at the right prices, there's something for every car lover on your list. And with the money you save, you can pick up something for yourself, too. Happy holidays indeed. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
What if there was a place where you could listen to all the radio stations, music, and podcasts you love? And what if that place was free? Well, we couldn't find it, so we made it. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Foreman running right side, going downhill, 10-5, touchdown! Deontay Foreman, keep trucking!
This Sunday, the Panthers try for their first win streak of the season. Carolina visits AFC North leading Baltimore. Coverage begins with the pregame show at noon on the Carolina Panthers radio network.
Panther football, live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Ahoy, matey! At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety. From your local catch to flavors from around the world. Wild sashimi tuna, Charleston crab cakes, mountains of shrimp, bourbon salmon, wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa. It's enough to make any salty sea captain ready to set a course for the bounteous treasure of the Ingles Seafood Department. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs?
Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. Last half hour of the program, we started talking about coaches of the year. I want to do a 180 and talk about some of the worst coaches of the year because, I mean, things come out of coaches' mouths every week that baffle me, but Dennis Allen may take the cake because he says they are not going to audible to Jameis Winston. He's going to stick with Andy Dalton. Now,
it's baffling to me.
For the first time in weeks, though, he is now fully admitting that Jameis Winston is not 100%. Despite the fact that I think 2 weeks ago he made the exact opposite argument that Jameis Winston was healthy and Andy Dalton was better for the team.
Which is insanity. I mean, how much worse could he actually be? You averaged just over 200 passing yards in your last 2 games. Your offense has looked pitiful. How much worse can he be? That's the part that I don't understand. And then looking at this like, well, Andy gives us the best chance to win. In what regard? It's not like he's not turning the ball over. That's the big knock on Jameis Winston. Nobody with an IQ above salad dressing thinks Andrew Dalton has a better arm.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense.
11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions by Andy Dalton. He's 2-5 as the starter of the New Orleans Saints. And he also fumbles a lot. And I get Jameis Winston has his propensity to turn the ball over as well. You're not telling me anything I don't know. But I'll continue to say it. You have a high side with Jameis Winston. You don't have one with Andy Dalton.
Well, I mean, and like the league is figuring the league's figuring this out.
Yeah, I don't feel like Andy's had a high side in 5 years.
No. He is the definition of a game manager at this point. And what is it that you ask that guy to do? Don't turn the ball over. That's it. And you do that if you have a really good defense, really good weapons, and all he has to do is get it in their hand. Well, right now you don't have that. You have a good defense. Kind of. You're putting them in horrible situations. But this hasn't been great for Alvin Kamara. It hasn't been good for Chris Olave. I don't get it. This is a 35-year-old quarterback. I can't tell you who the quarterback in New Orleans is next year. I can tell you who it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Andrew Dalton.
No.
So why not chuck Jameis Winston out there and just see what you got? I mean, what's the downside? You figure out that there's nothing there, and you know definitively you have to move on next year?
I think they know that anyway.
I would agree. But what if Jameis Winston comes in here in the last handful of games of the season? I don't think you're making the playoffs regardless. But what if he makes you respectable? What if he puts you to, I think 8-9 is probably a stretch, 7-10, 8-9.
Mm-hmm.
As a 28-year-old guy, that might at least be somebody that could carry you through next year because you don't have a first-round pick.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to be in the sweepstakes for a quarterback in the first place. I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Dennis Allen's not long for this job.
He's another one that could be gone in 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
We could easily have 2 of those. I think that's only happened 17 times in the last 40 years or something like that.
Right.
We could have it twice in the same season.
Mm-hmm. Well, the league is impatient. We know this. But there also is a point where you go, this isn't just being impatient. This is seeing it before it gets out of control. And I feel like it's already out of control for the Las Vegas Raiders. But I don't know. As the days go by, I keep thinking, I don't know that they're going to do anything about it.
And I'm not going to lie, Patrick Holt in the YouTube comments said, just play Taysom Hill. I wouldn't be averse to that.
No, absolutely not.
You have no incentive to lose. It's one thing if you have a pick in the top 5. If you're the Raiders and you know, well, if we just lose out, we're going to be at 2. We can do whatever we want to.
Right.
You don't get that in New Orleans. That pick's going to Philadelphia no matter what.
Right. So do we really want Philadelphia to have the highest pick possible? No. Let's win some games.
Philadelphia's sitting back going, just play Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh,
you just keep playing Andy Dalton. We're good.
They're huge fans of Andy Dalton right now.
And I'm not sure that is not less curious than what just came out of Washington.
Ron Rivera says he's torn on what to do about the quarterback position. Wait a minute. So this was bad with Carson Wentz. Then you're forced to go to Taylor Heineke, and now your season's done a 180. You're back in contention.
You've won 4 of your last 5.
Yeah. And now you're considering going back to Carson Wentz? I mean, is this just more lip service that Ron Rivera thinks he owes to somebody? I mean, do the same thing the Indianapolis Colts did. Admit the mistake and just go, we're done.
Well, now, and it will be Heineke this week. Wentz is not ready. He's not coming off, so it will be Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
What he is referring to is moving forward.
Right.
I want to say this is lip service of he's just saying this to protect his guy in Carson Wentz, and I feel like you have to know. I mean, this offense statistically is not drastically better. It looks better. It looks more cohesive. This team seems to rally around Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even think this is a decision.
I don't either.
Plus, if he plays 70% of the snaps, you have to give up a better draft pick. I mean, that's almost like the sprinkles on top of no, don't do that.
Right. Tap out. Be done with
to
it.
me, it's not tapping out. This is your better alternative.
Mm-hmm.
It's a better alternative with an incentive behind it.
And I agree with that. At this point, you're just trying to what? Not admit the mistake. Because, okay, so we're going to stick with Taylor Heineke. Well, great, guys. Then you gave up a second-round pick for nothing.
Who cares? That's done and in the past. If you keep banging your head against the wall, it's only going to hurt worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's going to change that you did it in the beginning, but continuing to do it is dumb.
I would agree. And I think this, I would hope that this would not be a decision that Ron Rivera makes and goes back to Carson Wentz and tanks the rest of the season, which is what that's going to do, in my opinion anyway. You got to stick with Taylor Heineke. You have to admit the mistake. You got to put your voice behind your guy, because to me, that's your guy.
No doubt.
You've had Taylor Heineke for the last 3 years.
My question is, why do you not just roll with him? Did you really think Carson Wentz was that much of an improvement?
I don't know. They didn't like
because to me, they're the same guy.
They didn't like the game manageriness, and they thought there was a high side to Carson Wentz that nobody else had been able to get anything out of, and we've got a weapon that we can get more out of Carson Wentz. I don't know what spurred them to make the move in the first place. I thought it was dumb when they did it.
The quarterback musical chairs this offseason is going to be really interesting because I'm looking at a handful of formerly high-end draft picks. I don't know where you're supposed to land. Carson Wentz, what's your next move?
The Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, this will be your 4th team in 4 years.
Mm-hmm. The New Orleans Saints.
I mean, is that how it goes? They just swap them?
Pretty much.
Between Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, Carson Wentz. Because I don't see a landing spot for any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this discussion on Twitter. Is who's going to give Baker Mayfield a chance to start? Nobody. And why would I want him on my team as a backup? There's only one of those four guys that I just said that I would even want on my roster, and it's Sam Darnold, the one that Carolina for some reason doesn't
want to play.
Never understand that.
Going back to Baker Mayfield.
It will be an interesting element of this offseason.
100% it will be.
Because I don't feel like any of them – I don't feel like you can bring any of those guys in to just be twos. Maybe Jameis because he has done it. But I even feel like he's getting antsy. Watching him on the sideline, I feel like he's standing there going, how am I not in these games?
Yeah. But that's the problem. You're just not that good. I mean, all of these guys, you can look them in the face and go, what's the reason you're not starting?
Because you're not that good.
You're the problem. We get you, teams put high draft capital into you, and you had all these high hopes. But let's be honest, guys, your careers haven't gone the way that you wanted them to, and you're just not worth starting in this league.
Hey, I forgot. There is one team that could absolutely give one of these guys a shot.
The Tampa Bay
Your
Buccaneers.
horrible Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Tom Brady.
Yes.
Oh, please.
Give me Jameis Winston back.
I don't ask for much. I'm a simple man, simple means. Baker Mayfield to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be top 10 greatest day of my entire life.
I'd rather have Kyle Trask. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather just roll with.
I think you'd be better with Kyle Slaughter, first-round pick in the XFL Draft.
100%. Good night. That's why when it came up in our Discord chat, if you join the House of Reprehensibles on the YouTube, you can join the Discord chat. And somebody mentioned the Derek Carr thing. Will the Raiders take a quarterback and get rid of Derek Carr? And I was the first one to raise my hand. Trade him to Tampa. Let him be my problem. I would love to have a problem like the Las Vegas Raiders going, I've got Derek Carr and I don't know what to do. Send him to Tampa Bay. Because I feel like he could get something out of those, get what's left out of those weapons with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and now Kate Otten becoming, baby Gronkowski. Hey.
Hashtag no homer.
Hey. He's good. You can't deny it.
He's fine. Stephen Tao said, I got what I asked for when P.J. Walker beat the Bucks. Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. In fairness, that's a next year ask.
Yes.
I feel like I get one of those a year. My team is pretty taken care of, so I can use my wishes to make my partner here very sad.
There you go. Yeah. Wow. I'm not looking forward to it. I think at this point, just come on back. Just play forever.
No.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is Time Saver Traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Again, very busy. Future 26 westbound slowing as you approach Broadway Street. 26 eastbound slow near Bavard Road. Sweeten Creek Road is slow southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Merriman Avenue northbound approaching Edgewood Road delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is your one-stop destination for shipping supplies and services. And right now, get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item. Offer ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping.
Hey, this is Peter Schrager from the NFL Network's morning show, Good Morning Football. You've also seen me on NFL Sidelines and in studio for Fox Sports on Sunday. Well, I've got a new podcast with iHeart in the NFL, and we're calling it The Season with Peter Schrager. In each episode of this season, I'm going to empty my proverbial notebook and take you inside and behind the scenes on the conversations that happen at the highest levels of NFL franchises. Listen to The Season with Peter Schrager on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get early access to Macy's Black Friday specials on gifts they'll love at prices you will too. Now while supplies last. Like 65% off dazzling Effie fine jewelry, 60 to 65% off coats and jackets for the entire family, and 60% off holiday decor, hosting essentials, and so much more. Plus download the free app for more Black Friday deals at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
You might not know this, but the Ingles Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things, really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina.
I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
Okay, Patrick Holt in the comments. He wants to know when the Thanksgiving side dish draft is coming. Next Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
It's the day before Thanksgiving.
1 week from today, we will do the Thanksgiving side dish draft.
And I feel like it's snowing because people like you keep putting your Christmas trees up.
100%.
Can't do that before Thanksgiving. Amy was like, I want to decorate this weekend. Now, you can leave it up till the end of February. I care less about that. Can't go up early.
And I still don't feel like I've got a good reason why. Do you have Thanksgiving decorations?
Yeah, turkey.
You have a turkey just sitting out on your counter like, oh, it's Thanksgiving, and there's the turkey.
No. I don't decorate for any of these holidays outside of a Christmas tree. So.
That's true. It's very true. I mean, I know there are people that have Thanksgiving decorations. Like, so we put up the Christmas tree this past weekend. We still have not got it fully decorated with all the ornaments and stuff, but it's up and the lights are on it. At least there's that. And then I tried to put out the brand new Christmas towels on the stove, hang them on the handle, because it's what you do. Well, no, I was quickly corrected that no, my wife has Thanksgiving towels that need to go up before Thanksgiving. Well, now, wait a minute.
Does anybody actually see these?
Now, that nobody sees these. No one is going to see these. No one comes in our house except for us.
Yeah, see, that's the
problem. And, some of the kids' friends. No. But I was told I couldn't put out the Christmas towels until after Thanksgiving. Oh, okay, but I can put up the Christmas tree. Tell me how much sense that makes. It's frustrating.
Don't put any of it up.
It's like
Give Thanksgiving, it's just desserts.
It's like living in a house with Ron Rivera. He can't make up his mind about anything. And every time he does make up his mind about something, it's usually wrong. I'm going to go with Carson Wentz. Wrong idea. I'm going to go with Brian Robinson. Wrong idea.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
My wife doesn't need my Twitter handle to be mad at me, and she's the only one that could be mad at me for that. So
That's true. That's true.
All I have to do is open the door when I get home, and she'll let me know. You rest assured she will let me know. So, yes, Patrick Holt, we will do best Thanksgiving, or the daily draft Thanksgiving side dishes coming up on Wednesday of next week. We will not.
And then we have to have the 12 Days of Christmas movies again.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
This is the fourth year?
Yeah.
Third year.
Yeah.
Third year.
I feel like I feel like now we got to get deep divey.
I mean, it couldn't be worse than A Christmas Story. Yeah, you're not going to throw me a movie that's worse than that.
Elf.
Oh, that is worse than that. Those are both awful.
No,
they're genuinely god awful.
They are hallmarks of the season, and you are too uncultured to enjoy them.
I'm too uncultured for Elf.
Yes.
I feel like
if you don't like
to
it,
enjoy that movie would require no less than 45 minutes of recreational drug use beforehand. That is the only way.
It's not bad then either. Just saying.
Just I don't get it. I don't understand how anyone ever looked at that and went, "Yeah, let's do that." Maybe I'll pick my 12 favorite Christmas movies.
Oh, that's my favorite comment of the day. Patrick Holt, you win again, my friend. He said Ron Rivera would draft baked beans.
Bingo.
Yes, he would. And yes, Elf is awesome.
Awful. Best Christmas movies of all time? Batman Returns.
Stop.
Die Hard.
Stop.
Yeah, it's really the two.
Although my Facebook feed really, really wants me to have that Nakatomi Tower advent calendar.
Mine too. And I probably will.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, it's the Nakatomi Tower, and you move Hans Gruber down every day until he reaches the 25th and he dies, and that's Christmas in everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming more around to the Die Hard as a Christmas movie.
It's the ultimate Christmas movie.
It's not though. It's not.
It's
not
one
even
of all
on the
time.
list of the best Christmas movies.
Oh, it's the best one
I
of
could
all
do
time.
a list of 75 Christmas movies, and it wouldn't be on it.
Stephen Tao says Nakatomi Plaza.
Okay.
He's right.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
That is a movie I actually watched multiple times. And then I watched them all. And they were all awesome.
All of the Die Hards?
Yes.
Even the newer ones?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anyhow, hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. This is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. No, we will not be with you Thursday or Friday next week. We will be taking our Thanksgiving time to enjoy with our families as well. We will, of course, still
Which
have...
basically means leftover turkey and our underoos. At our own respective houses, not together. That would be odd.
Be really
I
weird.
don't. Out.
I don't. No part of that. We will be off for Thanksgiving next week, so we will have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll have the Sunday show on afterward.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, we will both bring in our.
We'll have the picks and the bangers on Wednesday.
I was gonna say we'll bring in our best turkey sandwiches and have them judged.
Oh yeah, with the moist maker.
And also Monday we are going to be live on location from the Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project, benefiting Eblin Charities, obviously. The Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive, benefiting Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project. There, I got it. I got to get back in that mode. We will be live at the Asheville Outlets on Monday for the show, so we encourage everybody to come on out, hang out with us during the show, and we'll be live on location.
For the lighting of the Ingles Giving Tree.
That's right. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Remaining unseasonably cold here as we head through the end of the week. Decreasing clouds for us here. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the middle part of the 20s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. And